everyone, good morning. Welcome to the King Angel Show, and if you're returning, welcome back. I'm King Angel, a San Francisco Bay Area live streamer, content creator, and live streamer here on YouTube, Twitch, and Facebook too. It's been a while. Welcome. We're doing some Coffee, the News, and Us today. Reading through allthat'sinteresting.com. We're going to do some Good News Network and some Schmidt Ocean Institute. Ooh. It's going to be lovely. It's going to be wonderful. I missed being here for Coffee, the News, and Us. I have a job now, so that is taking up, well, my morning and afternoon. It's a pretty long job. Like, hour-wise. This place I'm working at now does 4 times 10, so it's 4 days a week, 10 hours, which is great. I mean, I get to have like Fridays off and whatnot, but getting adjusted to it is a bit peculiar because I was so used to working from Monday through Friday. Then I had a gap of time that I was not working with. It's when I was doing Coffee, the News, and Us every day, Monday through Friday, but had to reduce it obviously because I got the job, and again, getting adjusted to the whole thing was the reason why I was not going live for Coffee, the News, and Us. I have been going live for True Crime though, so if you don't know, this King Angel show, the information that you're seeing here, if you're here in the audio version, because you're a Patreon member, I appreciate it, and I have icons on the screen. This is for the King Angel show. It's the parent channel. 2 sub-channels are Coffee, the News, and Us, which is the segment that we're going to be doing today, reading through some interesting good news. It's all about science-based education, interesting things, because obviously the website is called All That's Interesting, so it's situations and series of events that happen worldwide at this point. The page doesn't limit itself to the States only. So that's what we do here for Coffee, the News, and Us. Over on True Crime, I read through truecrimedaily.com, which is an amazing website for recent, up-to-date cases that are happening in the States. They rarely have cases or post anything about cases that are outside of the U.S. There would have to be some sort of link to the country, the U.S., for it to be posted there, but nonetheless, it's still pretty interesting. It's a pretty big country, so a lot of shit happens here. There's a lot of crazy people here too, so it's pretty interesting to read through the cases that they post there at times, or definitely a trigger warning for people because they hold no bars at all. It's straight up describing verbatim what happens to the victim, and it gets pretty gruesome. We watch news videos as well. We do rabbit holes, talking about like true crime cases that have happened in the past. Not so famous. There are a bunch of other content creators that already cover the very big cases, but the reason why I do True Crime Daily is that same reason. First, it gives a voice to the victims, and second, it's shit that is happening right now. It's good to keep yourself up to date, especially if you live in one of the states that the case happened. It's good to know and be informed, because the more you know. Why not? Morbid subject though, because true crime is that. At the end of the day, a lot of the cases that I've read or videos that I've seen and whatnot, it chips away at your sanity, just a little by little. It's not even. It's just like one little swipe, especially when it has to do with like families and like kids and shit. It's horrible to read, but unfortunately, it's a lot more common than what people want to give it credit. And I can't do anything about it like myself, but being able to read those cases and talk about it, and we read police reports sometimes as well, and watching like the news, interview family members and whatnot. It's very important because again, it gives voice to the voiceless, and in this case, it's the victims. Because fuck the person that did it, or group of people, or whatever the case may be. They can go fuck themselves. But the victims that are no longer with us, or those that have to withstand and go through the whole ordeal that is brought onto them by these monsters. It's an opportunity, like I said, to be able to give them some sort of voice. So that's a KAS True Crime. That's a King Angel Show True Crime. You can find those links. On the About section of this same live stream. So the channel, I'm sorry. So King Angel Show. It should have the sub channels attached to the main page, so you can just click there and subscribe to those channels. I'm still working on Coffee, the News, and Us because I don't have followers there. That's why I didn't do the live stream on that channel. I did it here on the King Angel Show and also on Twitch. So what's up, Twitch fam? Once I start getting more followers on that channel, then I will migrate Coffee, the News, and Us to that one. But I need to work on it as well. At the moment, I have like 3 channels I'm working on, and I need to post on them. I'm centering myself first on true crime because it's a good niche, and it could potentially propel me to have followers on my other channels. But I just have to post shit on there as well. So yeah. Plus I have a job. Plus I have a wife and a cat. So it's a lot. But I am up for it, and I am pushing forward. That's what's up. Little by little, I'll be able to accomplish all my goals. Like I mentioned at the beginning of the stream, this is Coffee, the News, and Us. We're going to be reading allthat'sinteresting.com, Good News Network, and then Schmidt Ocean Institute. Let me just say that. Just learn how to say that a little better. I'm not saying it correct. The Schmidt Ocean Institute. If you've seen Coffee, the News, and Us before, dude, I've gone through that website. Oh, I absolutely love it. The pictures there are amazing. They're very beautiful. Very beautiful. But we'll leave that for last because I'm pretty sure there are some interesting cases that we'll be able to read about. So we'll go through those first, and then we'll go into the Ocean Institute website. And hopefully I'll be able to continuously do Coffee, the News, and Us on Fridays. I mean, if it's the only day that I'll be able to have off work, then so be it. It'll be the day that I picked to do this segment of the show. And true crime as well. So I will be live tonight again as well. 6 p.m. but it'll 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. But it's going to be here on Twitch if you're watching me on Twitch, of course. Same channel on Facebook for now. I will be opening another channel for true crime. That's going to be exclusive for that. But for YouTube, it will be on the True Crime channel. So, like I said, main page of my channel here on YouTube, you're going to find the 2 sub-channels for that other the 2 segments that I do. Boom. Subscribe to it, like the videos, comment on them, let me know what you think. Give me your honest opinion, and brace yourself, because those true crime cases that I post there are, yeah. You won't see anything like graphic or anything, but yeah, you will definitely hear the story of what happened. And dude, cases are, again, tough to hear at times, but important that they're out there and we're able to, like I said, give voices to the victims. You know where to find me. I'll just give you a quick little recap on all the platforms that you can either follow me on, subscribe to the channel, or support me, which is the most important one out of all of them. But nonetheless, you pick which one you want, and I have a link tree that has all the social media platforms that I'm on, and the ones for true crime as well. Specifically TikTok, that's the channel that's growing the most. So if you can drop a follow there on TikTok for true crime, I'd really appreciate it. For the King Angel Show TikTok, I post like random videos and stuff like music and shit. So you can also follow me there on TikTok. But the one I would love your support on is the true crime one specifically. I mean, if you're into that. I'm still working on the Coffee, the News, and Us TikTok, so have to give me a little bit of time there. But once that's available, I will post the links on Discord, the King Angel Show. We watch movies, album listens, games. I have a whole bunch of like Apple Arcade games that I subscribe to the whole thing, so I can play games there. I have Fortnite and all that shit, because I do like that cloud thing with Nvidia. I have to fix my account though. I don't know what's going on, but for now it's Apple Arcade games, and they're pretty fun. If you have Apple Arcade, we can you can join in. We can play together. That's over on Discord, like I mentioned before. That's the King Angel Show. You can find that link in the description box of this live stream. Let me see. Threads, X, same. King Angel Show. I haven't changed the logo for Twitter yet because I like this one better. I don't like that X one, but it is called X now. So yeah, that's what I mean when I say that. Threads is the whole new Mark Zuckerberg idea and whatnot to counter Twitter. I'm on there as well, King Angel Show. In regards to support, I have a Patreon. It's $2 a month for now. Have a whole bunch of review reaction videos there. They're exclusive to Patreon members. We have audio versions of true crime episodes, audio versions of Coffee, the News, and Us episodes, random topic days that I haven't done them yet, but I will be picking one soon. I'm probably going to do that at least like once or twice a month. Keep it exclusive, and it's only for Patreon members. You get the audio version of that as well, plus a slew of other benefits for those $2 a month. Channel points on Twitch. It links to Discord that has private channels for Patreon members only, and we can watch movies there. But, you know, private channels, we can converse, we can hear album listens. Basically the same thing we do on the public side as well, but it's that section exclusive to Patreon members. You get access to all three of the segments, so let you know whenever I go live for any of them. Yeah, check it out. Again, that's patreon.com, the King Angel Show, and both segments are linked to that main Patreon channel. On Twitch, you can follow me there. It'll notify you when I go live. That's really cool, and would really appreciate it. If you want to take it a step further, you can use your Amazon Prime on Twitch to help me out. I would really appreciate it very, very much. Anything that is subscription or whatnot goes straight to the show. So 'cause I have a job, but anything else just goes straight to the show, and just allows me to eventually get a better green screen, so I don't have to sit still in one same place. And any other upgrades or subscriptions that could better help the show and whatnot. I eventually want to get a Steam Deck as well. With your support, I can eventually purchase that. But other than that, I'm just happy to be in front of a camera. I'm happy to have the opportunity to, for like 2 or 3 hours, just hang out with you, learn a thing or two. In this case, we're doing Coffee, the News, and Us. We will read through interesting things that happen all around the world. Learn a thing or two. That's wonderful. Listen, I am anti-intellectuality. So basically, I believe in science. I believe in space. I believe in education. I believe in knowledge. And the only way that we will advance and survive as human beings is through those 4 things I just mentioned. Compassion, love, yes. But if we don't have structure and education, knowledge, then it's all just not even worth it. Because we won't be able to improve. We won't be able to succeed. So as long as I can do the show, as long as I'm here occupying the space in this world, it's a pro science, pro knowledge, and I am 100% convinced that that is the only way that we will survive as human beings. I mean, albeit I'm not covering any, going deep into topics, because again, I am no scientist, doctor, or anything close to it. I am a mere content creator, live streamer, small content creator for that. Hoping to get big as one day, but at the moment I'm like extremely small. But if I can just give a little bit and be that little grain of rice that helps expand the solidification of education as a human right for every single person that lives in this world, that's what we're gonna do. That's what we're here for. And I don't know, I want to be a part of that. That's the side of history I want to form part of. So yeah, if you didn't know that, now you know. I mean, if you didn't know, it's because you've never been on it, never seen the show before. You can check out some of the other live streams that I've done on the same channel, the King Angel Show. I mean, we've gone down rabbit holes for a number of different topics. So yeah. Plus, life in and of itself, like nature, is extremely interesting. Graphic, gory. Nature gives not one fuck, not half a fuck. Nature doesn't care about feelings, but the study of it and the end result that we see and we are able to appreciate, and how everything just works in unison with other things, and the roots of the trees, and they all connected. Dude, it's just mind-blowing and extremely interesting. And the fact that we live in a time that we have so many technological advancements that allow us to better understand our environment. And I mean, I'll give you an example. For like cameras and stuff like that, dude, we're able to see even like the most minute little beings and like cells and shit now, and that's all thanks to knowledge and education. It's all thanks to people using their noggin, and that's what we admire here on the King Angel Show. Doctors and scientists and engineers and architects and astronauts. Dude. Right. That's what's up. I mean, not to take away from any other profession that exists, everything that everyone learns is part of the core structure of education and what it's all about. I mean, you're not born learning how to plumb. You feel me? I'm like, it's not like you don't know how to HVAC from the moment you are brought into this world. And those are very important things. I mean, we see the greater, we'll call it greater studies, which would be like engineering and like doctors and whatnot. But then there's a whole, plethora of other professions that make our daily lives a whole lot better and bring us comfort. And we're only able to achieve any of those things through knowledge and education, and people, seeing a problem and coming up with solutions and banking on it, creating a business out of it, a business that then employs other people, and that same knowledge spreads. So yeah, it's very important from top to bottom, left to right. And I'm happy I'm able to at least put some, even if it's the smallest thing, but some sort of little I guess I can call it 2 cents. Let's just call it that. I'm throwing in my 2 cents into the well of infinite knowledge. That sounds pretty cool. Movie studios, don't steal my idea, please. Look how nice that background is. I fucking love that. Remember, everything you're seeing as a background here, the whole video and whatnot, the whole sequence of videos, they were all recorded by me. So, yeah, let me know in the comment section if you like it. This one specifically is from the Monterey Bay Aquarium, and I have a whole bunch of other videos that are in this same sequence that are from that day. So you can check it out on my YouTube channel as well, which you can subscribe to. Like my videos, comment on them, let me know what you think. And yeah, it's one of the older videos. I think it's like the beginning of last year, but nonetheless, you can use it as a background as well. You can mute it. It's pretty cool. I don't know if you can hear that beeping sound. I don't know. Maybe that's the Recologies, people that pick up like the trash and whatnot, or they're starting to construct some sort of construction work here in the back. Whatever. Hopefully, it's not louder than it needs to be, and we'll be able to continue on with the show. Let's jump right into the other screen. Let's start this copy. God damn it, it's still beeping. Just stopped and it started right now again. We're going to start with allthat'sinteresting.com. As always, I appreciate you being here. Thank you so much. Time is very, very precious and very limited, and it's the most valuable thing we are loaned as human beings, because we don't own time. What happens, and the past is past. You can't change anything. You don't know the future, and you can only live in the present, which is uncertain as well. So the fact that in your present time, right here, right now, you're watching this face means the world to me, and I really do appreciate it. The true crime TikTok is gaining a lot of traction, and the fact that people are actually watching the videos and interacting with it, and it's pretty awesome. I've been struggling with this for quite some time now, but I've always kept myself as positive, but always trying to improve as much as possible to be able to entertain it. That's the whole name of the game. Entertain, and I don't know, maybe eventually be a part of someone's life. You know, have people here that are coming in and every time I live stream kind of basis, joining the Discord conversations, watching a movie with me, watching someone game, or people watching me game, a Fall Guys night, or like a trivia night, or something community based. That's the end goal. It's not really living off of this and whatnot. I'm 100% aware. Can't pee on my leg and tell me it's raining. It's extremely hard to make money off of content creation and live streaming, but I have a job, and it's a pretty good job, and I'll get a better job after that one that's even better than that one, based off of like my skills and all the experience that I have. But what will always remain is the interaction that I have here with you as a viewer, and that is what I greatly appreciate. So regardless of you supporting me or not, like monetary wise, that's neither here nor there. But what I eventually want is the growth of a community. Being able to talk to people, dude, have conversations, arguments, debates, all done in a respectful manner. But we watch a documentary, pick different videos, random videos that we can watch on YouTube and shit, like anything, but just creating that sense of belonging, but at the same time opening the doors to pleasant conversations and debates. It's what differentiates us humans from, like, fucking animals, bro. It's the fact that we can have a conversation and we could talk. Different ideas can come together, different opinions, different views and perspectives of life can talk and debate things without having some sort of like disrespect or apathy towards someone else and whatnot. It's something that is assumed is lost and is gone with every generation that comes to fruition. But I think that it's up to us to be able to create spaces for people to have conversations. We're all adults, but it's good to talk about things. Maybe not so much politics. That's something I could definitely skip entirely. But everything else, there's so many things to talk about. There's so many, weird and interesting things that happen on a daily basis in the world that are worth conversing with someone else. So join the Discord. That's mainly my whole end goal with this before I move on to the other screen. Join the Discord. Let's continue the conversation on there. Let's watch something together. Even if it's a bad movie. Even if it's a Marvel movie. And it's not to say that Marvel movies are bad, but just like, if you're into like superhero movies and whatnot. But I love horror movies. I really love scary things. I mean, I have a true crime channel. So, yeah. I definitely enjoy the horror, gory, scarier side of life. But on the flip side, I also enjoy lighthearted things as well. I love having fun. I love laughing and shit. So, yeah, join the Discord. You can find the link in the description box, like I said before, either here on YouTube or on Twitch. Follow me over on TikTok. Yada, yada, yada. I appreciate you being here. Thank you very much. Let's move on over to the other screen. I spoke a lot today. Apologize for that. Yeah, hope you're enjoying the music too. This is a chill hop. I've been using this website for quite some time now. I absolutely love chill hop music. You sound old, but it's inconsequential music that you can use for any situation, and you don't have to worry about it ever being offensive or unbearable to listen to. You can have it as a background and you can have a conversation with people, and it's just kept as backgrounds, but you can still enjoy it. I can't even count how many blunts I've smoked listening to this channel, or like going into, because I hear the Chill Hop Essentials. I save them on playlists on Spotify. Oh, which is one of the things that you also get as a Patreon member is the King Angel Show playlist. I'm slowly adding songs that I think that people will enjoy that I love myself. But yeah, you can find it there on Spotify. It's pretty interesting. They actually have all of the essentials that have been released up until this point. It's per season, so right now they just released summer. Fall essentials will be released soon because it's September, which is crazy that we are already in the month of September. I mean, what? Listen, if you don't know, I'm about to tell you that I absolutely love October. That is my favorite month out of all the months. I love everything that comes that comes with the whole season. I love the fact that it's fall. Eventually, summer's over. I love the fact, summer is over for October because it ends. I think it's at September 21st or 24th, something like that. But it's the change of season. I love the difference of colors that trees have. That like reddish color, like right before winter. You get to talk about like horror movies and shit, and people fucking love that. It's a whole thing. I enjoy very, very much. Join the Discord because we're going to be watching a whole bunch of horror movies. I have a list of them already planned that it's going to be very delightful. and I would love to be able to see it with fellow horror enthusiasts. If it's you, join that Discord. Hope to see you there. Last but not least, I think I mentioned this before, but Patreon members get exclusive access to the audio versions of episodes. If you're hearing this audio version, I really appreciate it. Thank you very much. It means the world to me. All right. Allthat'sinteresting.com. I love this website. Alrighty. Let's start off today with this first one up here. Allthat'sinteresting.com. Title says, archaeologists exhume very peculiar 3,000-year-old tomb of priest of Pacopampa in Peru. This was written by Hannah Holtz, edited by Maggie Donahue, and it was published August 31st, 2023. It says that researchers in the Peruvian Andes uncovered the tomb of a skeleton buried 3,000 years ago, and they believe it may have been an elite religious leader from the area's temples. While excavating the Pacopampa archaeological site in Peru, a team of archaeologists made an astounding discovery. After digging through 6 layers of ash and black earth, they uncovered the 3,000-year-old tomb of a person they now believe was a powerful religious figure. Project leader Suji Seki said the burial of Pacopampa was very peculiar, according to the BBC. The tomb itself was perfectly circular, measuring 10 feet in diameter, while the grave was shallow at a depth of just 3.3 feet. The skeleton was also fully intact and had been effectively protected against significant decay by the layers of ash and earth. Strangely, it had been buried face down with its legs crossed. Archaeologists estimate the individual was buried around 1200 BCE, according to a press release by Peru's Ministry of Culture. While excavating the burial, archaeologists also found decorated ceramic bowls and 2 seals indicating the presence of ancient ritual body paint, traditionally used for people of elite standing. Researchers have now dubbed the skeleton the Priest of Pacopampa, after the archaeological site, where the team has been working since 2005. The find is extremely important because he is one of the first priests to begin to control the temples in the country's northern Andes, Seki explained. The Pacopampa site is located in the Cajamarca region of the Peruvian Andes, about 560 miles north of the capital of Lima and high up at an altitude of about 8,200 feet, Ancient Origins reports. The area is linked to pre-Incan cultures that likely spans from 1200 to 500 BCE. So far, archaeologists have discovered 9 monumental buildings made from carved and polished stone at the Pacopampa site, believed to comprise a religious complex. They have also uncovered 3 other tombs of religious leaders. The first was the Lady of Pacopampa, who was estimated to have been between 30 and 40 years old when she died in 900 BCE. She was buried with a collection of gold earrings, ceramic pots, and seashell necklaces. The second tomb, found in 2015, housed 2 bodies and was perfectly intact, undisturbed by tomb robbers or artifact thieves, which is a significant problem at the Pacopampa site. Both individuals were priests, and the tomb was adorned with several ornate artifacts. One individual was wearing a heavy gold necklace. The other held a black ceramic bottle with an engraved figure that had the body of a serpent and the head of a jaguar. The burial was thus named the Tomb of the Serpent Jaguar Priests. Shit. The tomb of the priest of Pacopampa is believed to be older than those of the Lady of Pacopampa and the Serpent Jaguar priests, but a bit younger than the Prince of the Bututos, another burial which was discovered last year and estimated to date back to 1200 BCE or earlier. The priest of the Bututos was named for the peculiar objects with which he was buried. Bututos are an Andean wind instrument made out of seashells, and it's believed this priest may have used them in religious ceremonies. These discoveries were all made under the Pacopampa Archaeological Project, an investigation launched in 2005 with the purpose of uncovering as much information as possible on the Pacopampa culture that predated the Inca. The team is comprised of archaeologists from the National Museum of Ethnology in Japan and from Peru's National University of San Marcos. Archaeologists say the Pacopampa site is crucial to understanding ancient Peruvian culture. According to El País, the team suspects it may have a pilgrimage center where ancient Peruvians came from across the region to participate in sacred religious rituals. I mean, look at the bones right there. Interesting. And one of the things mentioned was that they were buried with their legs crossed. I wonder if that has a specific meaning. Let's see if maybe I can find something on Google about Okay, so I Google searched buried with legs crossed, and this is, I guess, the first article. It's from Wikipedia. It says the cross-legged pose of many 13th or early 14th century English effigies was long supposed to imply that the deceased had served in the Crusades, had taken crusading vows, or, more specifically, had been a Knight Templar, but these theories are now rejected by scholars. Interesting. So I guess this is only for... it's just like describing a particular... Okay, look, this is the case that we just read about right now. Alright, this is news.yahoo.com. Let me pause the music real quick. It's a quick video on the skeleton with crossed legs, which puzzles archaeologists in Peru. And we just read about this on allthat'sinteresting.com. Let me make sure you can hear the video. Sorry about that.
In Peru are trying to make sense of a 3,000-year-old discovery. These remains have been dubbed the Priest of Pocopampa. The layers of rock indicate that he was buried around 1200 BC. Researchers say they believe he was in elite standing in the community because of items found with the bones. We found various complete ceramic pieces and a bone in the shape of a needle used to secure a female cape, even though the skeleton is a male. These associations are very interesting. I believe this person might have been a leader. Archaeologists are also puzzled by the shape in which the bones were found, with the upper part of the body extended and the legs crossed. The Pocopampa Archaeological Project has been working in this area since 2005. This site is believed to be 500 years older than two other sites discovered in the region. For Inside Edition Digital, I'm Mara Munsell.
It's crazy. Pretty interesting. Still doesn't answer the question as to why they were buried with their legs crossed, but nonetheless. Move on to the next one. Oh, okay. Start over. Allthat'sinteresting.com. Title says, a Jewish ritual bath found beneath a strip club in Poland is a time capsule from before World War II. Written by Hannah Holtz, edited by John Kurowski, published August 30th, 2023, with an update August 31st, 2023. says the mikveh likely dates back to before World War II, when the Polish town of Kimelnik had a thriving Jewish community. I hope I said that correctly. I apologize if I didn't. Sorry. The new owner of a shuttered Polish strip club was in for a big shock when he found a mikveh, or Jewish ritual bath, in the basement of his new property. A few years ago, Marian Zwolski, a businessman from Kimelnik in Poland, purchased the Sphinx, a nightclub that has been out of business for 15 years. Relics of the club's once thriving nightlife were still there. A Heineken sign on the wall, a pole in the middle of the room, a collection of ancient Egypt-themed decorations. But the most interesting discovery happened when he opened the basement door. In the basement was a historic, sacred Jewish bath known as mikveh. The baths are traditionally used for ritual purification, and the one in the basement of the Sphinx still had water in it. What's more, the original blue and white tiles and the Stars of David decorating the walls were still visible and in decent condition. In a neighboring room was a smaller mikveh, which was likely used by women. It's astonishing, said Meir Bulka, an advocate for the preservation of Jewish heritage in Poland, in an interview with Haaretz. You enter the basement, and you're in another world. It's like a time capsule. Ritual purification is an important part of the Jewish faith and culture. I am completely butchering it. I'm sorry, but I'm gonna say it again. It's mikvehs are used to purify a person, granting them a spiritual rebirth before religious ceremonies or holidays. They were also often used by women after menstruation, purifying them before they could resume marital relations with their husbands. This was more common in historical Judaism, but some conservative sects, such as Orthodox Judaism, still require this practice. It's unclear exactly how old the newly discovered mikveh is, but it's likely it dates back to before World War II. Poland was a primary target for the Nazis leading up to the war. Before the Holocaust, Kimelnik had a population of around 10,000 people, 80% of which were Jewish. After the war, the total number of Jewish people in Kimelnik was just 4. Oh, wow. According to ancient origins, Kimelnik was settled by Sephardic Jews fleeing the Spanish Inquisition in the 1630s. The Jewish community in Kimelnik built a synagogue there and thrived throughout the 18th and 19th centuries, significantly contributing to the town's culture and economy over the years. But in 1939, the Nazis invaded Poland. On September 5th, they rounded up prominent Jewish figures in Kimelnik and herded them into a study hall, which they then set on fire. The remaining Jewish survivors were sentenced to forced labor in Kimelnik's ghetto. In 1942, the Nazis extinguished the ghetto, murdering hundreds of its Jewish residents and sending thousands more to the Treblinka death camp, the second deadliest Nazi extermination camp after Auschwitz. Treblinka is estimated to have killed between 700,000 and 900,000 Jews, most of whom were Polish. Now, Sawolski said he plans to turn the site into a museum or tourist attraction. I was born and raised here, so I care about the history of the place. I don't want it to disappear, Sawolski said. I encourage the people to remember the past, and I also call on you, the Jews, to preserve it and see to it that it is memorialized. Wow. And if you could see the picture here, it definitely is a bathhouse. It's crazy. And who knows how long that bathhouse had been there before it was shut down because of World War II. So what we're seeing right here is like a piece of history, if you really think about it. which makes a lot of sense why they would preserve it. And I think it would be a win-win situation because, well, yeah, maybe the person won't be able to live there, but or open a business there, I guess, whatever he was gonna do. But they're probably gonna pay him out, and he will just have to open it somewhere else because now this is considered a cultural site in Poland, and makes sense. So yeah, good for him for discovering it, and I guess having the idea to try to, like, I don't know, like dig down or whatever the hell he was doing and found this bathhouse. It's pretty cool. Surprised no one knew it was there. It's insane. This has no video to it, so we'll just move on to the next article we will read. Damn, this was interesting. It's pretty cool. People find things, make these huge discoveries. When we covered the Terracotta Army, that's how it was discovered. Someone was just, it was one person that was just like walking down a hill and just like randomly found it. Like one of the biggest, most important discoveries in the history of China. Just like random dude who's still alive and is considered an icon in his town, and people take pictures with him and whatnot. Pretty interesting. Check out the videos I have about the Terracotta Army. You can find it in the video section of this same YouTube channel, The King Angel Show. Interesting. I won't talk about it here, but I covered that true crime case. It's a lady you see in the picture over there to the left. It says a suspect in the cold case murder of an Arizona hiker was just identified after 36 years. I said it there in the true crime channel. I'll say it here. Basically, monster killed someone. They didn't know who had done it. He thought he got away with murder, and yeah, justice was served. He's gonna have to spend the rest of his crappy existence in jail. And what I like the most about it is the fact that people commit these crimes and they think that they will never get caught and they will be able to get away with it. And when that moment comes, it's the same thing that happened with the Golden State Killer. Once that moment comes and they face justice, oh, chef's kiss. It's so sweet because they thought they were living their life. They thought they had gotten away with it, and it's a feeling of superiority that they probably lived with it. So this person in this case was, well, not the one I'm pointing, not him, but that case right there. It's 36 years. So for 36 years, this individual lived his life, probably had a family, kids, went to birthdays, graduations, partied, took that away from the woman that's in the picture, but was able to live it himself. And on a random day, you get the FBI or who the fuck it is banging on the door of your house because they have clear evidence that you were the one that committed those murders. Oh, sweet lady justice. Let's go. The hammer of justice is relentless at times. Doesn't always strike, but when it does, beautiful. If you want to know more about that case, head on over to the True Crime channel, and I talk about it there. Oh boy. AllThat'sInteresting.com. Astrobiologist says we may have already found life on Mars 50 years ago and accidentally killed it. Written by Hannah Holtz, edited by John Kurowski, published August 29th, 2023, and it was updated August 31st, 2023. And it says, in the 1970s, NASA sent 2 Viking landers to Mars to search the planet for signs of life. Now, astrobiologist Dirk Schultz-McCooch, or McCook, I guess, claims the landers did, indeed, finds evidence of microbial life forms on Mars. but may have accidentally destroyed them in the process. Right. I dropped the suggestion that some people surely will find provocative, that we already did find life on Mars nearly 50 years ago, but that we inadvertently killed it. Schultz McCook, a planetary habitability and astrobiology professor at the Technical University Berlin in Germany, and a former fellow at NASA's Goddard Space Flight Center, writes for Big Think. The Viking landers, a pair of NASA space probes equipped with both imaging technology and instruments to test for life, touched down on Mars in 1976. There, they began conducting a series of biological tests that to this day remain the only experiments to test for life directly on another planet. Unfortunately, these tests saw contradicting results that have baffled researchers for decades. For example, one of these tests found trace amounts of chlorinated organics. At the time, these organic materials were assumed to be the result of contamination from Earth and dismissed as, at best, inconclusive evidence of life. But after subsequent explorations, like those by the Phoenix lander and the Curiosity, and also the Perseverance rovers, scientists now know that those chlorinated organics are indeed native to Mars. Schultz McCook believes that the very processes used to carry out the tests may have destroyed any evidence of life, perhaps accounting for the experiment's confusing results. He says one of the tests involved adding water to samples of Martian soil to test it for evidence of metabolism and photosynthesis. Scientists were operating under the assumption that life on Mars would be similar to life on Earth, which needs exposure to water to survive. But Mars is an incredibly arid planet. Schultz McCook said that although the dampened soil was positive for life, the introduction to water may have ultimately drowned the organic microbes, which had likely adapted to the dryness of their habitat. It would be as if an alien spaceship were to find you wandering half dead in the desert, and your would-be saviors decide, humans need water. Let's put the human in the middle of the ocean to try to save it, he writes. Indeed, in these tests, evidence of life was stronger in the dry control run, in which water was not added to soil samples. Now, Schultz McCook suspects Mars may be home to dry adapted microbial life forms containing hydrogen peroxide, which would allow the cells to draw water from the atmosphere. While hydrogen peroxide is most often associated with the highly concentrated forms used for cleaning and sterilization, many microbes in the human mouth produce it naturally, and some insects use solutions containing hydrogen peroxide as a defense mechanism. This theory might help explain another of the Viking experiments, which involved heating soil samples to separate their materials. Recent analysis suggests this process may have incinerated the organic material the experiment was designed to find. If the Martian cells contained hydrogen peroxide, Schultz McCook explains, the heat would have not only killed them, but caused the hydrogen peroxide to interact with nearby organic compounds, yielding carbon dioxide, which is likely what Viking instruments were detecting. In short, Schultz McCook argues that the processes used to test soil samples for life on Mars, and which were used to claim there was no evidence of it, may actually be responsible for the lack of evidence. And he is not the only one who has made that claim. According to the Daily Mail, in 2016, experts from Arizona State University and the National Institute of Health released a study claiming the Viking findings are consistent with a biological explanation that life on Mars adapted to survive its dry environment. In the study, researchers injected Martian soil samples from the Viking landers with nutrients and stored them in the dark for 2 months. Researchers found that the Martian soil's response was extremely similar to that of terrestrial soil. Schultz McCook says these new findings suggest the need for another mission to Mars, with the primary purpose of detecting life. I cannot wait for such a mission to get underway, he said. Listen, I don't know about you, but I surely have seen a few horror movies start with situations like this. Kind of odd that they would think that Martian soil would be similar to Earth soil. It is literally two completely different environments. But pretty interesting that they thought they were achieving something, but in reality they could have not, because it's not proven 100%. It's a claim that he's making, and it's a claim that another person made for the Daily Mail, or a group of people, because this was Arizona State University and the National Institute of Health. I mean, pretty big, both, so I guess I am more inclined to believe that, in fact, they did kill them off. The microorganisms that they thought that were pretty much still alive there. What's crazy is that it was with a hydrogen peroxide. It's crazy because it's Martian soil and we don't really have much information on it. We're pretty ballsy to try to do something like that without knowing the reaction that could have caused. But who knows if what we would have thought is soil is in fact something radioactive or some shit like that, and that would have just blown up and destroyed the whole setup that they had sent out to space. Mind you, this was 1976, a long time ago. Would also make sense that these experts in 2016 would, kind of agree with what Schultz was saying. Pretty interesting. I personally have seen the thing a few times already. Weird shit happens here on Earth. We don't know anything that happens on Mars. So, I just feel like we should just leave it alone. We can investigate and try to answer as many questions as possible. But once we start mingling with the actual planet in and of itself, I don't know. I think that's where I draw the line. The line has been drawn. And we'll now move on to another one. This is crazy. AllThat'sInteresting.com. A live worm was removed from Australian woman's brain in world first discovery. By Austin Harvey, edited by Jacqueline Anglis, published August 29th, 2023, and this was updated August 30th, 2023. Before I move on, look at this picture. Look at the size of that worm. A woman in Australia was hospitalized after experiencing a litany of strange symptoms, which started with stomach pain, coughing, and night sweats, and escalated to cognitive conditions. But no one expected that the source of these mystery symptoms would turn out to be a small 3-inch long worm. It was definitely not what we were expecting. Everyone was shocked. Operating surgeon Dr. Hari Priya Bandi told the BBC. The 64-year-old woman had suffered from her initial symptoms for nearly 3 weeks before first entering the hospital in January 2021. At first, she experienced abdominal pain, diarrhea, a constant dry cough, a fever, and night sweats. A brain scan later revealed that she had an atypical lesion within the right frontal lobe of the brain. Wow. Still, the true cause of her symptoms remains elusive, and it wouldn't be until June 2022, after the woman's symptoms had evolved to include forgetfulness and depression, that Bandi would make a startling discovery. The woman had been referred to Canberra Hospital, where she was given an MRI that revealed abnormalities in her brain requiring surgery. But as Bandi's colleague, infectious disease physician Dr. Sanjaya Senanayake, told The Guardian, the neurosurgeon certainly didn't go in there thinking they would find a wriggling worm. This was a once-in-a-career finding. No one was expecting to find that. Bandi said the operation had only just started when she felt something odd in the part of the brain that showed up strangely in the scans. I thought, gosh, that feels funny. You couldn't see anything more abnormal, Bandi said. And then I was able to really feel something, and I took my tweezers and pulled it out and thought, gosh, what is that? It's moving. Banzi said the worm was happily moving, quite vigorously, outside the brain. Unsure of what to do with this new and strange discovery, Banzi consulted Senanayake. We just went for the textbooks, looking up all the different types of roundworm that could cause neurological invasion and disease. Senanayake said, unfortunately, the resources at their disposal yielded no fruitful result, and they were forced to contact outside experts. Canberra is a small place, so we sent the worm, which was still alive, to the straight to the laboratory of a CSIRO scientist who was very experienced with parasites, Senanayake said. He just looked at it and said, oh my god, this is Ophidascaris robertsi. So, Ophidascaris robertsi is a relatively common roundworm found in carpet pythons, non-venomous snakes located across Australia. But the Canberra hospital patient is the first time this worm has been seen in a human. Experts believe that the worm became an accidental host after collecting warrigal greens, a type of native grass, from a lakeside near her home to use in cooking. Carpet pythons also inhabit the area, and the leading hypothesis among experts is that a python shed the parasite via its feces into the grass. So, despite no direct contact with the python, the woman may have become infected with the parasite when she touched the grass, either from later transferring it to other food or from eating the grass itself. Senanayake noted that treatment was difficult for the patient, as even after the worm in her brain was removed, they had to treat her for other parasite larvae that could be in her system. However, some medications that kill off larvae can also cause inflammation, which can harm organs such as the brain. That poor patient, she was so courageous and wonderful, Senanayake said. You don't want to be the first patient in the world with a roundworm found in pythons, and we really took our hats off to her. She's been wonderful. Senanayake added that the patient is recovering well and is still being regularly monitored. Researchers also are working to determine if a pre-existing condition that caused the woman to be immunocompromised could have made it easier for the larvae to get a foothold. This strange case also adds to an already growing and concerning trend of infections spreading from animals to humans. There have been about 30 new infections in the world in the last 30 years, Senanayake said. Of the emerging infections globally, about 75% are zoonotic, meaning there has been transmission from the animal world to the human world. This includes coronaviruses. Fortunately, this specific infection is not transmittable between people, Senanayake said, so there is no concern that it will turn into a pandemic like COVID-19 or Ebola. That said, carpet pythons and the parasite that attaches to them are found in other parts of the globe, meaning the world could see this happen again sooner rather than later. We'll look for a video, because I know this one too. Look at the size of this python. That is insane. And look at the size of the worm. There's a video I saw about this. That's actually how I discovered it. Let's see. Okay. This is from BBC News. Hopefully you don't have copyright music on it. We'll be able to see the whole video.
Now let's move to Australia, where scientists say an 8-centimetre worm has been found alive in the brain of an Australian woman. That is a world first. Let's speak now to our correspondent, Phil Mercer. Phil, talk us through exactly what happened here.
Well, you can only imagine the surprise within the minds of the surgical team at the Canberra Hospital in June of last year when they were operating on a patient who had, for very many months, been describing a very long list of unpleasant symptoms ranging from stomach pains to night sweats, diarrhea, forgetfulness and depression. A scan revealed a lesion or damage to part of her brain that led to this biopsy in the middle of last year. And when they were investigating the lesion, the surgeon found this 8-centimeter long light red worm. It's a parasite, and it's the first time this type of parasite has been found inside a person. So
Look at the size of this.
when surgeons do this sort of brain surgery, they don't expect to find anything live within the brain, but that's what they found. And this has really led to an extraordinary amount of research about the potential dangers of disease and infections coming from animals into people. Of course, we know this with COVID-19, but scientists say that this particular brain worm case here in Australia is another warning that these diseases from animals jumping into humans is very much a growing concern.
Phil, absolutely extraordinary. Thank you very much.
I mean, that's only added to the list of the ones that we already experience that are pretty bad as it is. The last thing we need is an actual worm living in your brain. Because not only did the worm have to go in through some place, or wow, it's just if it went in through the feet, yeah, just like I don't even know. From the person's feet all the way to their brain. That is crazy. Did it form in one part of the body and wiggled its way all the way and settled itself in this woman's brain? There's so many questions. There's just an ocean of questions right now that doctors and scientists must be just trying to figure out at this point, because if you think about it, this technically defies a lot of medical studies that have been done up until this point. You know, they thought they had the brain figured out, you know, up until a certain, you know, point, but now it's just like they have to restudy a whole bunch of shit, because now it is possible for a worm to live inside of a human being's brain, and not only live there but cause significant physical damage, nerve damage to you as well. It's crazy to me. Wow.
For that. Now, we have one of the doctors that saw that parasite, Dr. Sanjaya Senanayaka. Thank you very much for coming on the program.
Thank you, Lewis, for having me.
What was your reactions? What was your thoughts? How did you come to see it?
So our laboratory in the hospital, our microbiology laboratory, got a call from the surgeon saying, we've just discovered a live wriggling worm in this patient's brain. It's something we've never seen before. Help us out. And as the on-call infectious diseases physician at the time, my laboratory colleague involved me, and we got to work trying to determine what this worm actually was so we could treat this patient. And we looked through all the possibilities and realized it might be outside the realms of normal human parasites. And Canberra being a small place, we were able to send it up the road to the CSIRO, where an animal parasitologist confidently made the diagnosis.
So,
really quickly, picture A, the area that it's in gray, that's where the worm resided, I guess. Rent-free. That's where he was evicted from. Right there. Bam. Crazy. I mean, obviously the picture makes it look a lot bigger, but that was in someone's brain. Wow.
This worm was successfully extracted, was it?
Look, it was all 8 centimetres, and it was alive when it was removed from the brain by our neurosurgeon, Dr. Bandy.
What was it
And it
feeding
was
on?
alive when it reached the microbiology laboratory, and it was alive when it got sent up the road to our colleague at the CSIRO. Then he dissected it, and that was the end of the worm.
That was the end for the worm.
All in
Absolutely
the name of science.
extraordinary. And do we know, or are we allowed to release any details about how the worm got in?
No, look, absolutely. And what we believe has happened is this. So normally this parasite lives in carpet pythons, which are found all over Australia. The eggs of the parasite get into the python feces, which small mammals or marsupials normally or accidentally consume when they're eating foliage, etc. The parasite develops in them until another snake comes along and kills the marsupial or small mammal, and then the life cycle completes itself in the python. What we think has happened here is that our patient collected some native grasses called warrigal greens for consumption, and we think the python feces and parasite eggs have contaminated that, and by touching that and eating that, she's unfortunately inadvertently become infected. So she's an accidental host.
Every detail of this story gets more and more extraordinary. What's your kind of personal / professional reaction to it?
Look, I think everyone's grabbed onto the yuck factor, the live worm being removed from the brain. But look, even if you remove that, there is a couple of important take-home messages here. Even though there's been 100 years between true pandemics, new infections are appearing in the world all the time. There have been 30 in the last 30 years. Three-quarters of those are animal infections which have infected human beings. And as our burgeoning human population encroaches on animal habitats, that interaction between humans, domestic animals, wild animals, and flora will lead to more of these infections appearing. So that's really important. Also, this parasite is found in snakes in other parts of the world. So raising awareness of this case may lead to the identification and treatment of other cases around the world.
Wow.
Absolutely extraordinary and fascinating.
Could you imagine that there are people that are experiencing symptoms similar to what she was experiencing, and they've been to the doctor so many times trying to figure out what's going on with them, and they don't get any responses from doctors. Doctors can't find anything. Tests all come back great. It seems like you should be in the best health based off of the data from all the tests that were ran on you, and blood tests, blood work, and MRIs, whatever the case may be. What if a lot of those cases, this is actually what's going on? Because it's true what he says. I mean, the reality of it is that as human beings, we will always see new different type of diseases pop up, and there's going to be new things, because one event leads to another. Climate change leads to all of these new development of different pathogens and a whole bunch of shit. Dude, it's crazy, man. We either change our ways to be able to kind of combat and reduce the amount of these new developments happening, or we're just gonna have to consistently come up with vaccines to be able to counter all of these new diseases that are happening, and it's just gonna get worse. Before we move on to the next one, I want to look at something really quickly. I'm gonna find okay, so see if we can find some animal diseases that are now found in humans. Let's see. Let's see. Okay, so we're reading from the health.state.mn.us. This is the Minnesota Department of Health website. And title says Zoonotic Diseases. It's a disease transmitted from animals to humans. So, zoonosis, it's a zoonotic disease, or zoonosis, which is a plural, is an infectious disease that is transmitted between species from animals to humans, or from humans to animals. Illnesses associated with animal contact. We have rabies. We have a blastomycosis. That is a rare fungal infection usually acquired by inhaling the spores of a fungus that can be found in wood and soil. We have a psittacosis. This is systemic illness in companion birds. That's birds kept by humans as pets, and can also be found in poultry. This illness is often referred to as avian chlamydiosis, which is parrot fever. Interesting. We have a trichinosis. We have cat scratch disease, histoplasmosis, and coccidiomycosis, just to name a few. This was updated 2022. Let's see. I want to find another list. Ooh. Ooh. Okay, there's a lot. So we'll write zoonotic diseases. Let's see. Okay, we'll see this quick video. Let's see, maybe this one will be able to explain it. It's COVID-19 is a zoonotic disease. What are zoonotic diseases? Wow, this was from April 30th. I'm not going to go into that one. It's from 2020. Those are some dark times. Also 2020. Jeez. Let's see this video. I do nothing with it like that. I want something that can actually have some sort of explanation to it.
Direct contact.
Would have been great if it didn't have that background music on it.
As a new decade dawned in 2020, everyday life seemed relatively normal. Then, COVID-19, a new deadly coronavirus, spread across the globe and changed our lives.
COVID-19 can be characterized as a pandemic.
As of June 2021, at least 177 million people have been infected, and more than 3.8 million have died, though these are thought to be low estimates, and numbers continue to rise. Lockdowns and other restrictions imposed in response to the pandemic also triggered the deepest global economic recession in a century, with at least 131 million people pushed into poverty. Still, the pandemic rages on as new, more contagious strains evolve. But this coronavirus is just the newest zoonotic disease to jump from animals to infect people.
There should be an option that lets you cut the copyright music out of it, because this is yogurt with a little bit of raspberry jelly in it and some granola. Boom. It's a great breakfast right there. I mean, it's going to be 12 soon, but nonetheless, it's going to contain the hunger. It sucks because I really wanted to watch this video, but this music is not good. Not good at all. I apologize for that. I'm sorry. I really do. It's hard to be able to find something without music in it.
A zoonosis is any disease or infection that is naturally transmissible from vertebrate animals to humans. Zoonosis may be bacterial, viral, or parasitic, or may involve unconventional agents. Animals can sometimes appear healthy even when they are carrying germs that can make people sick depending on the disease. While petting or touching animals and through bites or scratches. Coming into contact with areas where animals live and roam. Being bitten by a tick or an insect like a mosquito or a flea. Eating or drinking contaminated food. Drinking or coming in contact with water that has been contaminated with feces from an infected animal. Although anyone can get sick from a zoonotic disease, those at a higher risk of contraction are children younger than 5, adults older than 65, people with weakened immune systems, pregnant women.
Make sense? Make sense?
Influenza A viruses are found in bats. Internal genes of bat flu viruses are compatible with human flu viruses. H7.
Which is why pregnant women cannot handle kitty litter, or like not kitty litter, like but like kitty like feces and stuff, because that has toxoplasmosis and that can like affect the baby and whatnot. Yeah, that's 100% true. There's a lot of data in regards to that, so there has been some really comprehensive studies done in regards to the dangers of like pregnant people handling kitty dung. Crazy. Scientists say that what is it? There's like a huge percentage of human beings, especially people that own cats, that have toxoplasmosis, but it's just they have it dormant, so it's not like active or anything, but it is active in pregnant people, which is crazy because you would think that that wouldn't be the case, but that's how nature works. See, and that's what led us into learning about zoonotic diseases. I knew about some of them, but there's a pretty long list of diseases that animals can transmit to humans. It's crazy. All right, let's finish watching this video and then we'll move on to another article from All That's Interesting. We'll do about 2 more articles from there, and then we'll move on to Good News Network.
17 N10, H18 N11 are found only in bats. Cats can be infected with influenza viruses, including avian influenza viruses, a contagious respiratory disease in dogs caused by specific type A influenza viruses H3N8 and H3N2. No human infections with canine influenza have ever been reported. A respiratory disease of pigs caused by type A influenza viruses.
It's only cats.
These viruses occur naturally among wild aquatic birds worldwide and can infect domestic poultry and other bird and animal species. All subtypes of influenza A viruses, apart from H17N10 and H18N11, can infect birds. An outbreak of one such zoonotic disease took place near the Kyasanur forest in Karnataka in 1957. The Kyasanur forest disease, also known as monkey fever, is a highly dangerous hemorrhagic fever. It is a viral disease transmitted to humans through a tick species usually found on monkeys. COVID-19 is caused by the virus SARS-CoV-2, which was believed to have started at the Huanan seafood wholesale market in Wuhan. Other types of zoonotic viruses include SARS-CoV, which was transmitted from civet cats to humans, and MERS-CoV, which was transmitted from dromedary camels to humans. Several known coronaviruses are circulating in animals. These have not yet infected humans.
Good question. How does one safeguard
Always
against
wash your
zoonotic
hands after
diseases?
being around animals. Use an alcohol-based hand sanitizer. Prevent bites from mosquitoes, ticks, and fleas. Avoid bites and scratches from animals.
Crazy. Hey, that was pretty good. Pretty informative too. Did a good job with this video. All stemming from this article that we just read. Live worm was removed from Australian woman's brain in world's first discovery. Crazy. All right, we'll do 2 more from this website. I'll check for something interesting. Let's see. These are all old. I don't know why they're still on their main page. That one, the South Korean student, that's probably like March or April of this year. So I guess we will do. Okay, we'll do these 2. Allthat'sinteresting.com. This says a Georgia man was just arrested for stealing an entire porch from his neighbor. By Hannah Holtz, edited by Matt Crabtree, published August 28th, 2023. And it says a man in Georgia is facing felony charges for allegedly stealing his neighbor's entire front porch. Robin Swanger was charged with 1 count of felony theft after he took a full 8-foot by 10-foot porch from his neighbor's property in Arnco, Georgia, a small town about 40 miles outside of Atlanta. The house was no longer on the property, but the owner said Swanger would have had to travel past several no trespassing signs to reach the porch. It's a full-size 8 by 10 porch. It would be what goes onto a house for entrance and exit. Coweta County Sheriff's Office investigator Chris Stapler told Fox 5 Atlanta. Very well constructed. Stapler said the porch was constructed with top-of-the-line lumber and was valued at approximately $3,000. The owner said that despite appearances, the property was not abandoned and nothing was available to be taken. Some people may shrug their shoulders and say it's not a big deal, but when you take someone's property without their consent and the value of this porch is $3,000, you can't just go and take stuff off someone's property, Stapler said. Authorities had been looking for Swanger for several days for the theft and arrested him when they responded to his home for a domestic disturbance. In addition to the porch theft, he was also charged with 2 counts of domestic violence, including battery, for that incident, where it was reported he got into an altercation with his wife and was throwing rocks at the house. Swanger was attempting to leave the scene when authorities arrived and arrested him. According to the New York Post, some investigators have dubbed Swanger a literal porch pirate. The term porch pirate is typically used to describe people who steal packages off others' front porches, but in this case, the porch itself was stolen. Porch piracy has become an issue of widespread concern as online orders and delivery have become an increasingly significant part of Americans' lives. As reported by CNBC, porch pirate thefts in 2022 accounted for a loss of 260 million packages, with the annual loss estimated at $19.5 billion. The other aspect of this crime that makes it unique and likely to continue increasing is that there's very low risk and very low skill involved, criminal justice professor Ben Stickle told CNBC. It takes no skill to walk up and steal a package. The threat has led to the development and adoption of numerous prevention measures like various doorbell cam systems, secure package containers, and package receiving services. Those measures may not be enough, though, to stop someone determined enough to take an entire porch. They don't say. The culprit may have had a change of heart, however. According to authorities, the porch reappeared on the property flipped upside down during the investigation. They did not say how Swanger became a suspect. In Georgia, felony theft for property valued between $1,500 and $5,000 is punishable by up to 5 years in prison. Domestic violence can be considered either a high and aggravated misdemeanor or a felony, depending on whether the person charged has previous convictions. Misdemeanor domestic violence is punishable by up to 12 months in prison, while felony domestic violence carries a maximum sentence of 5 years in prison. Damn. Crazy. A literal porch pirate. If there's one thing I can tell you about these upcoming seasons that are coming up upcoming seasons that are coming. Yes, I said what I said. These porch pirates are, Christmas is their time, because that's when everyone starts ordering a whole bunch of packages and shit. So yeah, I would say your best bet would be picking it up at your local post office or creating an account with like FedEx or some shit like that, so your mail can be delivered to a actual physical location as opposed to having packages delivered to your home. It doesn't matter if you think that your neighborhood is secure and safe and this will never happen in this neighborhood. It's gonna happen. You may not have like a whole true crime case happen in your neighborhood yet. I've always said, when there's a group of people, wherever there's a group of people, there's bound to be some type of trouble happen, because human beings are prone to trouble, basically. In this case, especially with the holidays coming up soon, I can't believe I'm even saying that, but yeah, with the holidays coming up soon, it's better to have it just delivered to a physical location. It's not even worth it, because then you have to go through the whole struggle of having to report it as lost and whatnot, and yeah, it's not even worth it. And things go pretty quickly during the holidays, and things take a lot more time. So could you imagine you're ordering something and you're waiting like 2 weeks for it? Someone steals it. Someone steals the pair of shoes that you were planning on using for the Christmas office party. You had bought those shoes specifically for that night. You found them online and they were a great deal and everything, and someone steals it off your front porch. Yeah. That sucks. I've had shit stolen from my front door. I live in an apartment complex, so I don't have a house. Even within having so many people here, you're still bound to have your package stolen. So yeah, that's my word of advice for you on this fine day today. Didn't even realize I said all that, and I didn't even have music on. I like having background music. You already know that. Okay, we'll read this last one from allthat'sinteresting.com, and then we'll move on to goodnewsnetwork.com. All That's Interesting, and it says archaeologists in Mexico discover 13 skulls at the base of a Maya pyramid. Written by Kaylina Fraga, edited by John Kurowski, published August 28th, 2023. And it says, hundreds of years ago, 2 young men in present-day Mexico were ritually beheaded and buried at the base of a Maya pyramid. Their remains, and those of other young men who may have also been sacrifice victims, were recently discovered by archaeologists excavating the Moral Reforma archaeological site in the Mexican state of Tabasco. According to a statement from Mexico's National Institute of Anthropology and History, which is INAH, the 13 sets of remains were discovered just 40 feet from Structure 18, a pyramidal monument south of the site's main temple. Archaeologists found the bones buried about a foot deep and set out to determine who they belonged to and what had happened to them. As Live Science reports, the Maya were known to sacrifice prisoners of war, but it's unknown if these men were captives. They were all between the ages of 17 and 35 years old, and appear to have been buried between 600 and 900 CE. And 2 of the skulls bear definite marks of violence. As INAH explains, horizontal cut marks were observed in the axis, a bone involved in the craniocervical junction. Miriam Angelica Camacho Martinez, a physical anthropologist from the INAH Tabasco Center, elaborated that these marks across the bones seemed to suggest the use of a sharp object to extract the skull. And we know this because the cervicals and the mandible maintained their anatomical relationship, although it is difficult to determine if this injury was the cause of death or if it was done post-mortem. The archaeologists have also determined that 5 of the skulls had been intentionally elongated. As Live Science reports, this purposeful deformation was practiced by the Maya, as well as by other ancient civilizations in Asia, Europe, and the Americas. Researchers believe that the skull elongation may have been tied to an elevated social status. otherwise. An examination of the remains also suggested that some of the men had suffered from cavities, likely because of their corn-heavy diet, and that some of the bones were covered in red pigment. The remains of these 13 men offer a fascinating look at life and death at Moral Reforma, which was once an important Maya settlement. As Heritage Daily reports, the city began as an important trading post around 300 CE and grew from there. Between 622 and 756 CE, the settlement reached its peak and sprawled across an impressive 215 acres, where the Maya built palaces, plazas, and pyramids. They ultimately abandoned the city around 1000 CE. That said, there's still much that archaeologists don't know about the site, including its original name. Life Science reports that it was allied with other Maya cities, including Calakmul and Palenque, and that the Maya built as many as 76 structures there. However, through Heritage Daily notes that the men buried at the base of structure 18 may have been sacrificed to appease an underworld deity. It's unknown which Maya god the pyramid was meant to honor. As archaeologists continue to explore the site, they hope to uncover more answers. Until then, researchers will have to look for clues in the bones and the teeth of the men sacrificed at the pyramid hundreds of years ago. Okay, it's a picture of La Moral Reforma archaeological site in or near Tabasco, Mexico. And it's a picture of the skulls right here. Here, I'll scroll a little bit up so that you can check it out. Oops. Crazy. These are the 5 that underwent intentional deformation. So, yeah, again, elongating the skull for an elevated social status. I don't know, like that's what they're trying to show, I guess, with whoever was being buried there and whatnot. So, had to do with money. Because of course it did. I mean, in this case, social status, but you get my drift. Comparing it to modern day. This is a closer picture of these skulls, and you can tell. See, you can notice here that the mandible, jaw portion, teeth, same as this one, is a whole lot bigger than the top part of the head. So you can tell that it was done intentional. You can see the fragment of the bone right on top of the cranium. Pretty cool. It's such a mind-blowing reality we live in, that we're able to discover these things that say so much about our history and our past and whatnot. It's pretty damn amazing. All right, moving on. Science rocks, and this is a clear example as to why. We're gonna move on now to goodnewsnetwork.com. Today's quote on this website says, "I always entertain great hopes." This was said by Robert Frost. Good for you, Robert Frost. I love this website. It's genuinely wholehearted good news to lift one's spirits and show us that there's still a lot of good in this world. And that is something I truly believe. You know, a mainstream why am I talking like this today? I don't know. I'm having such a hard time speaking clearly, and I don't get why, but try one more time. Mainstream media has forced us into thinking that the world, and I'm not going to deny that we are in a pretty bad state, but even within all the bad that we are consistently surrounded with, we're bombarded with, you know, bad information, horrible news, shit that's always happening, you know, true crime cases. Let me tell you something. I mentioned it before at the beginning of the stream, but that chips away at your heart. It chips away at your empathy. It kind of chips away at your sanity as well, because it's a lot of things that happen. And people are just like evil. Not all in general, but there's a good chunk of the population of the world that has really bad intentions. This website flips the script and shows us that there's still good in this world. There's still something to fight for. There's still things that happen that are for the positive of it. There are still people that care. There are still people that are determined to make this world a lot better. There are people that believe in climate change. There are people that do believe in tolerance and empathy and, you know, all the positive things that you can think about. I love reading it also because it's the counter to true crime. So, you know, one talks about the evil of human beings, and this one shows us that, you know, it's still worth it. Even within all the bad, it's still worth being here. I think we will be in a way worse position once that notion of that there's still some sort of good in this world and things worth fighting for goes away. And once that is destroyed, or that is a thing of the past, that's when we as human beings can just prepare ourselves for what could possibly be the worst time that a human being will ever have. In general. Sounds very apocalyptic, but it's true if you really think about it. So, like I mentioned, Good News Network. Let's read a bit about things that are happening in the world, bring a little bit of positivity to our lives. And we're going to start off with this first article, goodnewsnetwork.org. It says China's war on pollution improved air quality 42%, reduced global pollution average, and returned 2 years of life to citizens. Written by Andy Corbley, published September 1st, 2023. Got a beautiful picture. It says, proving that change is possible if the will to create it is present. Chinese megacities like Beijing that were once famous for their apocalyptic gray skies are enjoying the lowest levels of pollution they've experienced in the 21st century. Falling 42% from an average high in 2013 when Chinese air pollution was higher than 50 particles per cubic centimeters of city air. The change has increased the lifespan of Chinese urbanites by 2.2 years. Sorry about that. The news comes from a report published by the University of Chicago called the Air Quality Life Index, which listed some of the actions taken by the Chinese government to reduce air pollution, described by the CCP as a war on pollution. This has included reducing the presence of heavy industry like steel production in city centers, as well as restricting coal power plants from being built inside cities while shuttering those that were already there. Some cities, like Beijing, have reduced the number of cars allowed on the roads during peak hours, similar to London's congestion charge. Lastly, China's mass urban tree planting campaigns have been very well documented. While the life expectancy has risen on average 2.2 years, some cities have seen far more drastic increases. Citizens living under the new Beijing Blue are predicted to live 4 additional years, while those 11 million in the north-central city of Baoding are predicted to gain 6. Well, at the foundation of those actions were common elements, political will and resources, both human and financial, that reinforced each other, the report said. When the public and policymakers have these tools, action becomes much more likely. In fact, the decline in China's pollution levels have been so drastic that it lowered the world average, which the report says would have increased if not for the Middle Kingdom's war on pollution. Although Chinese city air is still several times higher than the WHO's recommended minimum, it shows what's accomplishable with political and civic effort, particularly to its neighbors in South Asia, where the report warns air quality is worsening. Good for them. Really quickly. So this was, again, during 2013, like the video mentioned. See if we can find a quick look. Okay, so this is CNN. This was published January 19th, 2013. This is when they had, it was like 4 days of, I think it's the highest air pollution ever recorded until New York City with the wildfires that were coming in from Canada. Okay, let's check out this video real quick.
Deserted streets and the sun barely visible as a dangerous smog blankets Beijing. School children have been forced inside, and breathing masks are the new must-have fashion. Authorities say pollution levels were off the charts on Sunday. Let's take you live now to Beijing, and we're joined now by CNN's bureau chief, Jaime Floracruz, who is actually indoors. He has to be. Jaime, describe to us what it's like when you go outside in that kind of pollution.
Look at the background.
Well, it's been so bad, Jane. I haven't seen the sun the past 4 days. It's also been so bad that when I go out there, I could feel and taste the grit and pollution out in the air, hanging in the air. And it's largely caused by, coal burning. Coal is still the cheapest, most accessible source of energy, especially heating in this very chilly winter. Also, pollutants from the 5 million cars in Beijing, and then compounded by the fact that there has been no wind the past few days. So what you have is pollutants hanging in the air, trapped above Beijing. And Beijing is not the only one suffering. China has reported some 30 cities and towns are having a bad air here. I've seen Beijing very polluted, but I haven't seen it so bad for so many days. Zane?
What is being done over the years, and especially at a time like now, to fight the pollution?
Well, China's been trying to curb pollution, especially before and during the 2008 Olympics. They have closed down some old factories. They have also limited the number of additional cars. It's now 5 million, but one car is banned from the street 1 day a week, again to curb pollution. But the more fundamental solution really is to switch China's energy consumption from coal to other renewable sources of energy. And China's been doing that, but not doing fast enough. Zane?
How does it affect the economy, businesses, because everyone's cooped up at home and can't go outside?
Sure. Many outdoor activities have been canceled. People have been forced to stay indoors. And that, of course, has caused a lot of lost work productivity, a lot of lost businesses. Air and road traffic has been disrupted. So there's been a lot of impact on the economy, but worse, a lot of impact on people's health. Many hospitals have reported a spike of patients coming in for respiratory ailments.
That was 10 years ago. They've been able to reduce it 40%. Good for them. Good for them. This is a cute story. Oh boy. GoodNewsNetwork.org says stray dog escapes Michigan shelter 3 times in order to find new home among elderly care facility. Written by Andy Corbley, published September 1st, 2023. And it says, every so often, it's the shelter dog that adopts the humans. Scout was a mutt and a stray and was kept at a shelter in Michigan until the pooch with no past decided he was tired of waiting to be adopted and went trotting out looking for someone to adopt, successfully escaping the shelter and its fences 3 separate times in pursuit of a permanent home. From the Detroit Free Press comes the story of Scout's adoption of an entire nursing home and the invaluable partnership formed between the determined dog, the residents, and the nurses. One day, in mid-July, Antrim County Animal Control was called to Meadowbrook Medical Care Facility, where they found one of their shelter's dogs, Scout, curled up on the couch in the waiting room. He had escaped last night from their shelter just down the road, and somehow managed to scale the 10-foot chain link fence another 6-foot solid privacy fence, cross a busy highway without being run over, find the nursing home, go in through the front door undeterred, and curl up on the couch to sleep. It was a puzzling story, but without any satisfactory way of answering the question, they took Scout back to the shelter, only for him to escape again a few nights later and turn up on the couch in the Meadowbrook waiting room. Then, a few nights after that, Scout was there again, and the staff felt they had a decision to make. I'm a person who looks at outward signs, and if it's meant to be, it's meant to be. Marna Robertson, the nursing home's administrator, told the Free Press. He did that 1 time, 2 times, 3 times, and obviously there's something that you should pay attention to. And I asked the staff, well, he wants to be here. Would anybody like to have a dog? Formerly adopted by the nursing home, Scout, who the staff says clearly had been abused in his past life, quickly set about the business of making friends with the residents. A long-term permanent care facility that houses dementia patients, elderly without any other family support, and those in the end-of-life stages. Having the dog around has turned out to be a priceless addition. To each and every one of them, it's their dog, said Jenny Martinek, the nurse home's household coordinator. He patrols the halls in a manner that's part security guard, part professional greeter, routinely visiting those who are passing away, or popping in on residents who still have the energy to play with him, and always stopping by the rooms of those who keep dog treats in their walkers. He's not big nor menacing, but if someone who doesn't live there rings the doorbell, he barks and jumps up on the wall just to let them know to behave. The speed at which he has adapted himself to all these roles is remarkable, and when paired with the fact that he simply kept showing up there, gives the staff and the residents the feeling like he was meant to be at Meadowbrook. Dude, how cute is that, man? Clearly shows that persistence leads to success. And this dog proved it. Yeah, he did. He proved it. Dude, just keep pushing on. Keep pushing forward. Eventually, you're going to get to where you want. And Scout showed it to us. I'm going to take this opportunity real quick because it's an elderly home and it's a permanent facility for houses dementia patients, elderly without any other family support, and those in the end of life stages. Without going too deep into that conversation, but that means a lot to me, and it has a lot of significance to me. So I just want to check out a video with you really quickly. It's actually pretty interesting, and it's so let's see. We'll put therapy pets. Okay. 150. This one doesn't have the time on it, which would have been great to be able to see, but let's see.
Some nursing home residents feeling the love on Valentine's Day. Good Samaritan Society, Loveland Village, welcomed a therapy dog Olivia and her human Jeff tonight. First time since the pandemic started that the nursing home has been able to have therapy animals come in and visit a group of residents at once. Just a chance to bring back some happy memories, lower stress levels, and ease feelings of loneliness.
Their faces just light up when they see Olivia. They reach out for her right away. The stories then that they start to share with us about their own beloved pets that they had in the past.
The animal therapy is part of the nursing home's partnership with Human Animal Bond in Colorado. which is based out of CSU's school.
Dude, that is so beautiful. And it's so important too because, listen, I mean, we're all gonna get there, and it's at this point in time, it's like you're just extremely lucky to be able to even have the thought of getting as old as them. So yeah, I don't know. I just feel like it's so important. You know, they should. I feel like they should have like, I don't know if they do. I don't, correct me if I'm wrong, but like if I would have a permanent care facility, like I would have like at least like once a month take them to like a beach or something, just anything, and include therapy pets because it's not only dogs. I've seen many videos that they use cats and whatnot, but it just brings it brings joy. It's pets, and it's the that loving feeling that you have with your with animals, not yours because they're not theirs, but with animals in general, and that the peace that it brings with it, and it does reduce stress levels. It's true. There's data behind it, and yeah. Let's watch this one. Here, I'll pause the music. Aww. Is it all just TikTok videos?
Big Bob. See that?
Alright, screen says when Loki the puppy comes to visit his grandma.
Oh, yes, yes. Beautiful. Oh, oh. I can't believe how big he is now. Some of a dog, that is. Oh, Looky. Looky. Stop it. Look at that.
Hey, are you kisses now? Yes, you know somebody over there, don't you? There's your mother there. You spoiled little baby, you are.
Yeah, I do. I love you.
Look at him.
Yeah, you love me.
Beautiful. Your mother keeps you lovely. Yes, you.
That's a beautiful dog. I'm gonna find another one. There's I wonder if I can ever find that video. That's probably gonna have copyright music. Sorry, I was reading some of these to see which one I can put on, but let's see.
Well, most of us are spending the holidays with family. You're probably sitting next to them right now. Some who live in nursing homes are not. But on the night before Christmas, a group of therapy dogs are working to keep those holiday blues at bay. Aaron Jones gives us a look at the Dog Alliance's Bow Wow Therapy Dog program.
Bow Wow.
Today we're visiting the residents here at the Legacy of Crystal Falls.
They get to come and say hi to the puppies and kind of get to have a little bit of fun.
They let us, pay attention to them and rub them.
Okay, good girl. This Christmas season, a lot of folks
the dog.
Family around to come and visit them. It's our way of kind of helping out.
I'm working.
Giving them a nice Christmas gift of a visit with dogs who love everybody.
It's very rewarding just to see the look on everybody's face when they get to see a puppy.
It's great because it's just happy to think that somebody will take their time to bring them.
Artie is really very, very friendly. She loves people. They just love to touch her and pet her, give their spirits an uplift. So it's fun for us. It makes everybody feel better.
It's just a therapeutic kind of thing.
Just seeing the look on everybody's face is pretty much why I keep doing this. I think really brings about the Christmas spirit.
We're going to go find someone to visit, all right? Wishing in the Christmas season and
dude, it's September.
A happy New Year for them.
I can't even believe it. They already have like Halloween stuff at Target. Bruh. It's going too fast. But yeah, this is a really nice story. And I hope that's something that spreads to all elderly care facilities all across the nation. They have one at airports now. I know they have one in the SFO, which is San Francisco. I think it's a few other airports around the country that have the therapy pets. They'll have, I know San Francisco has dogs, but I think they have cats in another airport. I don't remember. Chad, if you're there, let me know what state it is, what airport it is that has cats. But definitely San Francisco does have dogs, and you can like pet them and whatnot, and it serves as like something of an stress combater before flying and whatnot. A lot of people get really nervous and anxious when boarding a plane and whatnot. I would just like use the excuse to pet the cat if there would be a cat there, but I mean, nonetheless, I think it's a great idea, and I also think it's a great idea that they take pets to elderly care facilities. I mean, their faces light up when they see their pets, and it's just, you know, they're able to look back into their memory bank and remember their own pets maybe that they had during their lives, which is what she said. And they take a trip down memory lane and they get to sort of relive that moment and whatnot. Pretty great. Pretty great. That was a really great first article to start the Good News Network section of Coffee, the News, and Us today. So that was great. They just posted this right now. I'm going to read it because it sounds pretty interesting. goodnewsnetwork.org. This title says, a thrift store shopper joked she'd found a famous artist's work for $4. Actually, she really had. Written by Andy Corbley, and this was published today, September 1st, 2023. It was just literally published because when we read the previous article, it wasn't there. So probably in the last 10 minutes. This says, a painting found in a New Hampshire attic could fetch between $250,000 and $3 million after the owner had bought it at a thrift store for just $4. Wow. That's because it's a lost work by prolific Maine artist N.C. Wyeth, whose signature was on the painting itself, but which the buyer assumed was simply a forgery. The painting is one of 4 that Wyeth, patriarch of the Wyeth family of painters, completed for a 1939 edition of Helen Hunt Jackson's book Ramona, originally published in 1884. According to Bonham Skinners, the auction house handling the sale, the woman unknowingly purchased the valuable work after finding it leaning against a wall in Savor's thrift shop in Manchester, New Hampshire. It was stacked alongside posters and prints, and she selected it only because she was looking for frames to reuse. After not being able to find any information on the work, the buyer hung it on her bedroom wall, but after a few years ended up stashing it in the attic. During some May cleaning, she came across the painting yet again, and this time posted pictures of it on a Facebook group dedicated to people finding things lost in walls, attics, dug up from under floorboards, or salvaged from, quote-unquote, that abandoned house across the street from your grandma's. She connected with a former curator who had handled paintings from 3 generations of the Wyeth family, and knew almost immediately the piece was legitimate. While it certainly had some small scratches and it could use a surface clean, it was in remarkable condition considering none of us had any idea of its journey over the last 80 years, Lewis told the Boston Globe, who covered the story. The company that published Ramona is believed to have passed the work on to an editor or to the author's estate at some point, and only one other of the 4 paintings that were made has been found. Discovering lost, famous pieces happens so often it's common from a news media perspective. $250,000 and $3 million. It's between $250,000 and $3 million. She paid $4 for that painting. Holy shit, dude. That is crazy. Do you... All right. If you're a It's Always Sunny fan, there's an episode, if you know the episodes, I think it's like season 3, and it's the season 2 or 3, and it's damn it, it's Dee and Dennis's uncle, that they remember that they used to spend summers with him, but they couldn't remember what they did, and they end up discovering like these old videos, because he's like in the hospital. Is Bubby, I think it is, and Danny DeVito's the character that he plays, Frank Reynolds. He is the caretaker of that man, because he knows that the guy's loaded and that he has a painting that is supposedly worth millions of dollars, but no one knows what painting it is. It ends up being one that they... Spoiler alert, this is an old episode. It came out like in 2010. So if you haven't seen it, you can look at the videos on YouTube, or you can just stream It's Always Sunny on Hulu if you have that streaming service. It's an amazing show, so you should just watch it, period. But at the end of the episode, they burn the painting because Frank says that it's evil. It turns out that it's a portrait of a German Shepherd, and it turns out that the portrait was painted by Adolf Hitler. And it turns out that the uncle was a huge like Nazi supporter, and he used to take Dee and Dennis to, I guess, like Nazi summer camp or some shit like that. It's a funny episode, but it goes hand in hand with this article that we just read, because of the fact that none of them knew that that specific painting of that German Shepherd was worth millions of dollars. In this case, this person made what could possibly be the best purchase any human being could make at the most affordable $4. And she's going to make $250,000 to $3 million. $4, bro. That's like buying 2 lottery tickets. This person purchased the equivalent of 2 lottery tickets and had something that, because lottery tickets don't increase in value, she had something that increased in value. Dude, she could ask for $5 million and they would probably give it to her, because that's an original painting by, who is this person again? It's the Wyeth family, N.C. Wyeth, of the Wyeth family of painters. That is crazy, dude. You know what? Round of applause for luck there. Not even the person. Luck. I would love something like that to happen to me, because that would be amazing. I'm curious to see, who is this person? I want to see this person. Okay, so let's see what CNN has to say. Is there anything that I can see? Any video we can watch within here? No. Okay, so this is the actual portrait here. This is from CNN.com. Very beautiful. Very simple. Here we have a better illustration of it. am. I mean, nothing. It isn't a Salvador Dali. You know, it is nothing surreal. Looks like conversation between the matriarch of a family and her daughter, probably, with the statue of the Virgin Mary in the back. Looks like they're in a room. Nothing sensational about it. Oh, dude, they're not even showing like why who the person was. Damn. Yeah, she discovered the paintings and posted it on Facebook. And she's gonna make $250,000 to $3 million if she takes that price. If she's smart, she's gonna hang on to that. She's like, no, I'm not gonna sell this, and it's gonna increase in value. And dude, she's gonna have money for her and upcoming generations in her bloodline. If she's anything like me, her cat is set for life. Wow, I am thoroughly impressed with this. That is crazy. Well, there you have it. I guess buy paintings at thrift stores. You never know. You never know. Moving on. Let's read this next one. Wow, seems pretty interesting. Goodnewsnetwork.org. Title says, ultrasound scanners inside of a bra could detect breast cancer earlier and between screenings. Written by Andy Corbley, published September 1st, 2023. And it says, a miniature ultrasound device fitted to a flexible polymer strap can be slipped into a bra and detect breast cancer tumors among those most at risk of developing one. Super. The invention is significant for several reasons, and if perfected and developed, could save hundreds of lives. The first reason it could be a major medical advancement is that developing breast cancer tumors in their earliest stages leads to a nearly 100% survival rate. The second is that developing a tumor even in the space between mammograms does happen, and not at a small rate. Depending on the country, 20 to 30% of all tumors are found in people who were in between routine screenings. The device was developed at MIT, and once worn, it allows the user to move an ultrasound tracker across the bra and check for tumors. We changed the form factor of the ultrasound technology so that it can be used in your home. It's portable and easy to use, and provides real-time user-friendly monitoring of breast tissue, says Canon Dagdeverin, an associate professor in MIT's Media Lab, senior author of the study demonstrating its functionality, and inventor of the device. Dagdeverin drew inspiration for the device from her aunt, Fatma Kaliskanoglu, who died after developing aggressive breast cancer tumors between routine screenings after just 6 months. Sitting by her bedside, Dagdeverin sketched out her idea for the wearable ultrasound bra insert. In the study, the researchers tested the device on a 71-year-old woman with a history of breast cysts. They confirmed that it could detect the cysts, which were only 0.3 centimeters long, or around the size of an early-stage tumor. They also confirmed that it provided a depth of vision comparable to traditional ultrasound machines used to look for tumors in a hospital or cancer center. The ultrasonic bra has won Dagdeverin high praise from her colleagues, including Anantha Chanandrakasan, the dean of MIT's School of Engineering, who also co-authored the paper on the device. Damn. This technology provides a fundamental capability in the detection and early diagnosis of breast cancer, which is a key to a positive outcome, says Chandrakasan. This work will significantly advance ultrasound research and medical device designs, leveraging advances in materials, low power circuits, AI algorithms, and biomedical systems. Similar devices are being pioneered in Nigeria, The Guardian reports, where an entrepreneurial robotics graduate is developing a product called the Smart Bra to help reduce cancer rates in Nigeria, where breast cancer is the most common type. Other wearable tech bras are being developed in Mexico and Switzerland. It won't be praise from colleagues, though, which Dagdeverin hopes to achieve, but rather increasing breast cancer survival rates from 95 to 98%. It's not a big number, but it represents hundreds of women like her aunt Kaliskanoglu, who are beloved family members. Bro, do you know how women get like mammograms? It does not seem very comfortable. And but what I have heard from the women in my life that have gotten mammograms, it's pretty painful too. Dude, this is like a step forward, and I hope this takes steam and other, that it becomes something that could eventually replace that procedure of having to, have your breast in between two plates, and like that hurts. Dude, they have a video. I'm so happy right now because they have a video. We're gonna be able to check it out, and it's awesome. It's just such great news. And again, why I consistently repeat that knowledge is what's going to save us human beings from ourselves, because that's basically it. This is great. This is great. I really hope this ends up being the standard, because I think it would push for more tests, being done, and detection can be, it can happen way before, and like she said, like you can reduce the amount of women. Men get breast cancer too, at a much lower rate, obviously, but men can get breast cancer too. It's just a lot more prominent in women. Dude, oh man, this is so great. I'm gonna tell my wife about this. She's gonna be so happy when I tell her, because we've had conversations about this, and we've had conversations about she's explained to me like the process and whatnot. My mom has explained to me too. Like I remember hearing conversations of her and like my aunt and whatnot explaining, how painful it is, the process, and like I said before, the whole 2 plates and whatnot. But which I think would lead me to think that maybe there's a lot of women that don't want to have to deal with that and choose maybe not to get that mammogram, or but now with this advancement in technology, dude, it opens opportunities for an even greater amount of people that will be able to now get whatever is going on detected, or not. Maybe there's something happening, but that's the whole point, for it to be checked out. I'm gonna pause the music. Let's check out this video. I'm so happy that even if it has copyright music, we're still gonna watch it. Conformable ultrasound breast patch. Okay, it says, sorry, I don't think they're going to explain it. Or maybe they're not saying anything right now, but it says CUSBR patch is a conformable ultrasound breast patch inspired by the natural honeycomb structure. This patch provides large area, multi-angle and reproducible imaging over the entire breast. It offers an efficient global approach for the early detection of breast cancer in a conformable and wearable form faster. And again, this is just the beginnings. At one point, if this takes steam, and people, and it starts being worked on, and it becomes something more popular. Hey, eventually, dude, it'll be something smaller. It'll be something a little bit more comfortable. Right now, it looks obviously very. It looks very in its initial stages. It still looks. It wouldn't be a product that could be sold per se, but it is a glimpse of what could be. That's crazy. Oh man, this is awesome. Oh wait, I missed some text. Sorry. It says 6 circular magnets are embedded around each opening. It's a 36 total. 4 rectangular magnets are applied around the edges of each, and wow, they're going a little bit too fast for everything. It says that the tracker and ultrasound array sandwich a patch opening. The array can be rotated to 60 degrees, 120 degrees, 180 degrees, all the way up to 360 degrees total. Wow. So basically, it's for all different type of sizes. It's literally, you can position it to, like I said, like any breast size. And it's different points of the breast that it's detecting as well. It says a CUSBR patch consists of a one-dimensional phased array and an easily operable nature-inspired patch design. Because it's a honeycomb. Wow. Okay, and I don't know, you can't really see the image very well, but it shows the different points like on the tracker, and it shows like where tumor, like for example, it shows an example of a tumor in that breast there, and it shows how, like, shows where, like, the tracker's like right on top, how, like, what part of, well, depending on, what part of the where you position that tracker on the honeycomb, it's showing like through like illumination, I guess, the areas where it's tracking and checking. So in the image, there's like a small little kind of like a brownish circle, and it says tumor on it, and the scope of the tracker is going right on top of the tumor. So it says the nature-inspired honeycomb patch provides several advancements, such as mechanical support, hands-free scanning, and accuracy. The CUSBR patch design also increases the feasibility for continuous at-home monitoring of breast abnormalities at early stages. It saves time too. Don't even have to go all the way to a doctor. Have to start doing this shit with like insurance and whatnot, bro. You could just like at some point it'll be something that's available. Could you imagine? Over the counter? Hey babe, I'm going to the pharmacy. It's that time of year. I need to do my at-home mammogram test, or like I think like ultrasound and whatnot. You're like, oh yeah. Come back home. Boom. You save time, and it gives you the information that you need. Knowledge is power. Wow, it really does detect Wow, did you see that? I'm going to try to put it a little bit bigger here. I'll decrease the size, but I would love for you to be able to see. So these are all the different, the depth of the image of just like how, so it starts with +3 and then it ends up in -9 dB. +3 obviously is, it's basically zooming in and out. So watch how it is zooms out, I guess, if you want to call it that, and the difference when it's zoomed in. And again, this is all from the tracker that I was just talking about. Boom, spotted the tumor right there. Okay, so it says the CUSBR patch can detect the large cyst at the same location with identical image quality during 30-minute operation with 15-minute intervals. Indicating repeatability of array positioning thanks to the honeycomb patch, a key capability to enable long-term monitoring. So again, you change it and it's scanning different parts. Position number 3 or 4, I don't know which one it was the one that detected the tumor. Bam! Gives you that information. Wonderful. It says that users can move the array to different positions for large area imaging. Hospitals can use multiple arrays to achieve accurate imagery through multi-angle image reconstruction. This work offers the first nature-inspired, non-invasive, large field of view, real-time, user-friendly, continuous, wearable ultrasound technology for, what was it? What did I say? For breast cancer detection. And I am going to put the music back on. And I am going to give them another round of applause. Dude, my wife's going to love this. She's going to love this news. Oh, it just feels so great to live in a world where there's people that it's just, if there's a problem and they just like do everything possible to be able to come up with solutions to be able to make it better. And this is what I'm talking about, and that's why knowledge and you know, books and education, and it's important. It's too important. Thank you, science. Thank you so much. Wow, that's great. It's actually made my day. All right, let's move on to another one. GoodNewsNetwork.org. New blood test could diagnose Parkinson's before it begins damaging the nervous system. This was written by Andy Corbally, published August 31st, 2023. American scientists developed a test that focuses on damage to mitochondrial DNA in the blood linked with Parkinson's disease. Current diagnoses of Parkinson's are largely based on clinical symptoms after significant neurological damage has already occurred, and researchers hope this new test could be used to diagnose patients prior to such damage occurring. Parkinson's is the second most common neurological disease behind Alzheimer's. The progressive disorder affects the nervous system and parts of the body controlled by nerves and afflicts around 10 million people across the globe. The study team, led by neuroscientists at the Duke University School of Medicine, focused their work on DNA damage in mitochondria. Mitochondria contain their own DNA, which can undergo damage separately from the nuclear DNA that encodes most of an organism's genome. And previous studies have shown the association between mitochondrial DNA damage and an increased risk of Parkinson's disease. Duke University researchers have previously reported an accumulation of such DNA damage in the brain tissue of deceased Parkinson's patients, and that this was reflected in the mitochondria. A simple blood test would allow us to diagnose the disease earlier and start therapies sooner, said Duke University neuroscientist and senior author Dr. Laurie Sanders. Additionally, a clear-cut diagnosis would accurately identify patients who could participate in drug studies, leading to the development of better treatments and potentially even cures. This new test also identified high levels of the damaged DNA in the blood samples of people who carry the genetic mutation LRRK2, which has been associated with an increased risk of the disease, and was able to detect patients with Parkinson's disease with and without LRRK2 mutations. This disease takes a terrible toll on people. It's important to get new effective treatments over the finish line, said Dr. Sanders. Our hope is that this assay could not only diagnose Parkinson's disease, but also identify drugs that reverse or halt mitochondrial DNA damage and the disease process. Bro. That would be pretty awesome. That would be pretty amazing. It's crazy because I a few days ago I was watching a video of someone that has Parkinson's disease speaking on their experience with it, and it's crazy. My goodness. See, that's my one gray hair. Sorry about that. Well, not sorry about that. I'm not really apologizing to you. I'm apologizing to myself for getting old. It's happening. And you can clearly tell it's the only one sticking out. I don't know why he didn't cut it off when... There you go. It's here. Hey, happy Friday. Tip. Sorry about that. I didn't see you. I didn't have the chat open. I apologize for that. Thank you so much for being here. But this could be significant. This could be a game changer. Especially because we just read, obviously, that it's something that affects about 10 million people around the world. This is all because of technology. Knowledge is power. And knowledge is, again, which is why I say this, it's going to be what saves us. Let's read this next one. GoodNewsNetwork.org. Digging a wastewater pipe reveals fossil treasure trove of unknown species 3 million years old. By Andy Gorbley, published August 31st, 2023. And it says, excavations had begun on 2 huge vertical shafts for a major upgrade of Auckland raw sewage pipeline when the groundworks crew came across something astonishing. Piercing the threshold of an ancient shell bed filled with sea life, New Zealand paleontologist Bruce Hayward likened it to finding gold right on your doorstep. A once-in-a-lifetime find. 300,000 individual life forms from 266 species, fossilized 3 million years ago, are offering the largest single insight into New Zealand native marine fauna in history. And a new paper released on the subsequent research has identified 10 new species. 182 different mollusks were recorded, including the oldest known member of the genera containing the famous New Zealand flax snail. I didn't even know the flax snail was famous like that. There is the first fossil record entry for ostrocods, 5 species no less, also known as seed shrimps in New Zealand, and the first appearance of a common coral species as well. Additionally, great white shark teeth, eagle ray dental plates, a sperm whale tooth, and saw shark bones were also part of the haul. WaterCare, the excavation company digging the pipeline, was apparently all too happy to help the paleontologists pull out as many of the ancient shells as could be found, dumping the prehistoric screenshot in a sandy heap in a nearby field. The company also funded 2 paleontology graduate students to do the grunt work of sifting through the sand, locating, cleaning, and sorting specimens. See? It's not only here in the States. See, they do that shit in other countries too. Yeesh. Working under the supervision of Auckland Museum curator Dr. Wilma Blom, it took weeks to finish the job. Detailed identification of the fossils shows that they were deposited between 3 and 3.7 million years ago in a subtidal channel in an early version of the modern Manukau Harbor, said Dr. Hayward. At that time, sea level was slightly higher than it is today, as the world was also several degrees warmer than now. As a result, the fossils include a number of subtropical species whose relatives today live in the warmer waters around the Kermadec and Norfolk Islands. At least 10 previously unknown species are present and will be described and named in future work. Hayward added that this ancient marine channel brought sea creatures and their remains together from both tropical waters and colder climates. I don't know, that sounds like a true crime case ocean version, because found all those bones and stuff. Like, who did all that? What happened? Why did it happen? And it was in a wastewater pipe. How do people find stuff like this? We've read today alone, but it's like 3 or 4 different stories of people that have like found stuff. I mean, come on now. A $4 painting, $3 million. This one that we just read right now, the wastewater pipe, it's unknown species, 3 million years old. One of the other cases that we read over on allthat'sinteresting.com, the man that purchased, he was in Poland, and a Polish man that purchased a nightclub only to find out that there was like an ancient Jewish like a bathhouse hidden underneath. Bro, I've never even found like $5 laying on the floor, let alone discoveries that could potentially change or add to the history of a country. That, and I've never had a cat come out of nowhere either and adopt me. You know, I'm starting to ask questions as to what's happening. Why am I not getting any of these things? Who am I supposed to be talking to? Because it's not working. It's not working out. I'm not finding anything. Come on now. Do you understand the luck that you have to have? That you bought a painting because you didn't even want the painting in and of itself. You wanted the frame, and you're gonna make $3 million off of that. I don't even know what to say. Who am I supposed to talk to so that things like that can happen to me? Let's check this. Sorry. Let's check this next article out. GoodNewsNetwork.org, and it says, a sizzling cloud, storms and specters. Witness the awesome power of nature through UK weather photo contest. Nice. Written by Andy Corbally, published August 31st, 2023. This is more of a visual article. I can describe for the Patreon members that are listening to the audio version of this what I am looking at. I'll be honest with you, this probably is a real picture, but it looks like okay, I'll describe it. It's a mountain, snowy mountain that has a huge red flare coming out of the top of it. It looks like Death Mountain. It looks like something from any Zelda game you probably played. Lord of the Rings, minus the huge eye on top and whatnot. To the naked eye, this could be a photoshopped picture. Oh yeah, brought in different elements and put them all together, but no, dude, this is an actual picture and it's credited. This is the Villarrica volcano in Chile, and this credited to Francisco Negroni. This is an actual picture. Beautiful, very beautiful, and the fact that it has like the whole, it seems like the stars are falling, I guess, or moving. It just gives the picture just chef's kiss. So shout out to this person that took this image. Did a very good job. Seems to be a very good photographer. Wow. This other picture. Okay, so let's see. I'm gonna read where the pictures are from, like whatever description that is given about said picture. So for the first one, I was talking about the volcano. It's a Villarrica volcano in Chile, and it says, from lava illuminating clouds above a volcano to an icy wonderland. These are just some of the over 3,000 photographs submitted to the 2023 Royal Meteorological Society's Weather Photo Competition. Just in time for World Photography Day, the competition is now in its 8th year and acts as an observation deck to the vastly different climates experienced across the world. Both amateur and professional photographers from 94 countries have shared their pictures and stories for the competition. The photograph above, which is the one I was describing, was captured by Chilean photographer Francisco Negroni, who imaged the clouds above this volcano with a 3-minute exposure time to capture the faint light coming from the lava inside. During that period, the turning of the Earth shifted the stars' positions to make them appear as blurry streaks. The clouds are what are known as lenticular clouds, which form when air flowing over the ground encounters an obstacle like a volcano. This causes the air to rise and cool, which can allow moisture to condense and form clouds. Image number 2. Credit Cristiano Xavier, and this is a very, very, very powerful picture. It's a black and white image of a field with an extremely huge tornado right on top of it. But the way this photographer was able to capture this moment makes the tornado seem like it is about to devour Earth. It looks like it's going to increase its size substantially and just like swallow us all. That's how powerful this image looks. This person did an amazing job. Wow. Holy cannoli. So it says, Cristiano Xavier from Brazil followed a large storm, hoping it might give him a chance to get a shot of a tornado. Tornadoes are typically created by large storms known as supercells. Variations in wind speeds can cause a rotation in the air, which the storm can pull into a vertical vortex. If this vortex or funnel cloud reaches the ground, then that's a tornado, and the intense winds can suck up debris and cause serious damage. Luckily, this tornado stayed over the crops and didn't destroy any buildings, Xavier noted. It was not easy to photograph. That's it for that part. I'm sorry. They didn't do a very good job at putting some differences between maybe a subtitle or some titles for each individual image, so that there's like a separation of each. It's like they just continued on with it, which makes no sense. But that's it for that tornado picture, which is pretty amazing. Here, I'll put it back up again so you can see it. Bam. Chat, let me know what you think. This is amazing. I love it. I would have this on, both images, the volcano image and this one. I would have them both as photos hanging on my walls because it looks really, really cool. Especially this one specifically looks, wow. It looks dreadful. It looks filled with horror. Oh, love it. Okay, this third one is not as intense as the first two that we saw. Kind of has a Star Wars thing going on when Luke is in the ice world, the beginning of Return of the Jedi. Kind of gives me that vibe, but this is Fichtelberg Mountain, and this picture was taken by Christoph Skarsmith, and it says it was not easy to photograph this landscape because it was about -14 degrees that evening with strong winds, said German photographer Christoph Skarsmith, who took this photograph of a mountain landscape turned into ice sculptures on Fichtelberg Mountain in Saxony, Germany. The first few, I'm not sure what that is. I'm guessing that's trees that are just covered in snow, but it looks like towering giants that are headed towards a castle-like structure, tower. I don't know what it is. It looks like it's a radio tower. That's, I'm guessing, at the top of the mountain, but it looks like they're all towering and walking towards it as if they're going to attack it. It looks very Tolkien. I love it. Okay, this next picture is pretty cool. Pretty cool. I don't like it as much as I like the other ones, but this one says, broken specters are caused by the shadow of the observer projected onto the mist, often creating the illusion of huge, distant, ghostly figures. In the picture, you can tell, sort of from a distance, there's two people standing next to each other, each one with their left arm up, one with their right arm up. They're standing next to each other, and you can see like different shades of colors that form sort of like a rainbowish circular form that is lost in like that mist that you see. So looks pretty cool. It looks like if you use Photoshop, it looks like the flare effect that you can add on to pictures. Yeah, not as impressive as the other pictures, but still pretty cool. It says, in this photo taken on Hunter Hill in Wales, Matthew Price and his wife spotted the Brocken Spectre. Sorry, it's Brocken Spectre. And they spotted that because that's what their shadows were creating in the fog. So, using a drone to take a selfie, the specter is surrounded by twinkling rainbow colors as different frequencies of light are reflected back to the camera at different angles by the water droplets in the mist. Awesome. Dude, let's check out the website. rmets.org. This is a weather photographer of the year. This is for 2023. It says a standard chartered WPOTY 2023 shortlist. Let's check them all out. Chat, let me know what you think. Let me know which ones you like the most. Obviously, we're going to see some repeats here because they're talking about this over on goodnewsnetwork.org. Hopefully, we can see the picture one after the other and not have to go into each one individually. But let me see. I might have to make it smaller to try to get the whole picture to fit into one so we can better appreciate it. I think maybe we can do it like this. Cool. This one is called A Noctilucent Paisley Pattern by Gary Chittick. And this is in Paisley, Scotland. Pretty cool, pretty beautiful. I mean, I like the different combinations of colors that we have here because it's either like sunset or sunrise. but I don't know, not my favorite. Okay, this is a Perfect Cloud by Francisco Negroni, which is the picture that we saw previous over on a Good News Network. This is the volcano with the ring around it. Again, it's a 3-minute exposure. That's why the stars are, you can see it like that. But here you can better tell what I was talking about with how the stars look like shards. It looks so awesome. I absolutely love this picture. I would definitely have this hanging on my wall. If I were Francisco, I'd make money off of that. Ooh, look at this one. Braving the Storm by Les Erwig. This is in Sydney, Australia. Nice. Looks very terrifying. Love the fact that you can just see like the surfer right there, and everything else it looks so huge, as if the storm's coming to, destroy everything in its path, which is probably what it really is, because it looks pretty intense. It really does. Very awesome picture. Reminds me a lot of Dominican Republic because there are a lot of surfers back home. I befriended many of them. I don't surf myself, but I have befriended a lot of them in these years of my life, and this reminds me a lot of them. So, all right, Chug Water Tornado by Cristiano Xavier. Oh, I think this is the same person that took the other picture as well. Let's see. This is in Wyoming. And while I like the other tornado picture a whole lot more, you can still appreciate this. It looks nerve-wracking how people are able to capture with an image such power. That's why it's weird to hear people like diminish what a photographer can actually do and make it seem like anyone can take a picture. That's not the case, bro. It's not anyone. You can take a picture because you have like a camera on your phone, I guess, but conveying a message and feelings and emotions and different things through a still image, questions that you start asking yourself about what you're seeing, possibilities of what led to that point, what comes after that point. That's a true photographer there, and we're seeing it here portrayed to us because, dude, the majority of the images have that in common, and because it's nature and like weather, it shows how big that is and how small we are as humans. It's crazy. Ooh, Cloud Sea Over Mountain by Kiao Wen, and this is in Hbang. I totally destroyed that, but Myanmar. Okay. Alright, you got me, bud. You got me. This is beautiful. This is some beautiful shit right here. This my man, he did it. Did it. Great job. Great job. This is my favorite. This is my favorite. The volcano one would be the one after that, and no, this one, the tornado and the volcano. I'm gonna tell you why I thoroughly love this image. Is if you were to show this to someone and not tell them what it is, they would easily tell you, oh, this looks like a set of a movie. Oh yeah, this is probably like what show is this? I've seen this before. Oh man, this is real. It's real life. This is in Myanmar, bro. That's awesome. It looks like a fairy tale. This looks like the intro to the next season of the Amazon show, the Lord of the Rings show. I mean, I'm again giving movie producers ideas here. I should be charging for this shit, but look at this, bro. Could you imagine like a fantasy movie and this was the setting of it? Come on. Great job. This photographer, And again, it doesn't necessarily, it conveys power, but it also has this very peaceful beauty to it. As if I would love to be able to stand where this person is in this very moment, take this picture. To be a fly on the wall, or in this case, a fly on a rock on a high mountain. Awesome job. I hope you guys like this picture. Let me know what you guys think about it. It's quite possibly a very, yeah, I could probably say that one of my favorite pics I've seen this year. Shout out to this photographer. Yeah. Oh no, it's not the same person. Or is this? Yeah, this is the same image. So this is a Country Supercell by Sarah Bruce. This is in this is between Mexico and Centralia, USA. But it's to be more specific, why didn't I just say that? It's Missouri, USA. Crazy. This picture was taken on a Samsung Galaxy S22 Ultra, and they used like an attachment on it, but pretty good. Pretty good. Shout out to Sarah. Awesome picture. I am going to be voting for one of these pictures. I just need to figure out which one. Divine Power by Fernando Braga, and this is in Rio de Janeiro. And I'll tell you why I'm not that impressed. It's still a very impressive picture. Don't get me wrong, but it's just there's so many other pictures like this already, and so many different like iterations of the same thing, and I'm good. It's not the first time that lightning falls here in this specific place, and it's not the only picture that has it, but it's still pretty good, and the photographer did an amazing job, so I'm not going to take that away from him. But I would not vote for it specifically because of that. Next one, Dream Ring by Nasir Mohammed Moradi. Sorry. This is in the Banchab area of Sanandaj. This is in, I think, Iran? Because the photographer's from Iran. I'm not sure if the image is in Iran, but if it is or if it's not, very beautiful. Extremely peaceful image. Like I can hear, I can imagine, like obviously I'm imagining it, but I can hear like the chirping of the birds and the piling of animals waking up in the dusk of day, or maybe this is dawn, maybe this is dawn, I'm sorry, like waking up at the dawn, or like roaming around when dusk time happens like this. It's very beautiful. I like the shade of yellow, but it has like a very golden look to it. Very beautiful. Could easily use this for an image for like a movie. And how the clouds look smoky, as if someone had just smoked like a huge blunt and they're just like blowing the air out, blowing all the smoke, and it looks so awesome. Great job. Next one up, Ethel Alice by Sean Mills. This is in Mersey Island, Essex, United Kingdom. What do you guys think? That's okay. Also, kind of looks like other ones I've seen, so it's fine. Not my favorite. Oh, we saw this one, but this is a Fichtelberg Mountain by Christoph Skarschmitz. And this is in Saxony, Germany. This is the one I the image I was talking about that looks like the towering giants heading towards a snow-covered castle-like tower, I guess, or radio station. I'm not sure what it is, but has a very Star Wars feel to it. Looks pretty cool. Next one up, we have Fire on Man-Made Jungle by Mahmudul Hassan. This is in Dhaka, Bangladesh. Crazy. The picture was taken on an iPhone 14 Pro Max. Incredible sadness. I live in Northern California, so this picture, I understand it a little bit too well. We've had plenty of fires happen here, all around. Very sad. It's a bird, and front and center, you could see, bird is just basically resting on what seems to be twigs of like long stemmed like grass and stuff, and behind the bird you can see just fire, a lot of fire, like intense orange sort of fire, like it's pretty bad. I mean, we can only deny it to a certain point. There's gonna be a point where people just have to admit it, like, yeah, dude, going to climate change, this isn't normal. This isn't normal, let me tell you. It's just, as much as you would like to explain to me that, give me some type of weird ass excuse that this is like the planet that does it, that's not how it works. It's certainly not how anything works. Very sad image, probably one of the saddest ones that we've seen so far, because there's a lot to unpackage with an image like this. Because, yeah, as human beings, not only are we destroying everything, for ourselves, we're destroying it for animals. The planet will thrive. So that's not, it's a very privileged position to think that the planet is going to die and we need to save the planet. So we're the ones that are causing things and we're going to save the planet. Seems like a little bit too much confidence on a group of people that caused the issue in the first place. So I don't know. Again, we're only going to be able to deny it up until a certain point, because this is going to become a staple in people's lives, and it's only going to be until a certain point, because once everything's burned, like, what are we going to have? I don't know. We need to take things a little bit more seriously. Next image. It says Fight in the Storm by Daniela Solera Meneses. This is in San Jose, Costa Rica. Very beautiful country. Reminds me a lot of Dominican Republic. A lot of rain. Seems like a mother's carrying her child. You can only see it from the perspective of their feet and legs and thighs. Seems like it's raining a whole lot, and there's a huge puddle, and it's sort of an up-close picture, and she's carrying her kid, trying to run across the puddle, and we see other people walking in a distance with umbrellas and whatnot. Pretty cool. I like that it's black and white, so it gives it a more sort of real, unreal perspective to it. I like it. Next one, Forest Fire Boundary by Tran Tuan. This is in the Bac Giang province in Vietnam. And hello all, this is reality. Reality, I'd like you to meet everyone present here, everyone in the world. This is reality. It's the effect of climate change. Can't really say anything else about it. I mean, it's certainly not a controlled burn. Yeah, and it says it there, it's a forest fire. there's an app that lets you know about fires happening in your area. Someone mimicked that and made it like, worldwide, as if it were like the map like this, and it shows all the points in the world where there's a fire going on. And let me tell you something, that's pretty scary. Very scary image to see. That's all I'm gonna say. This should send shivers down everyone's spine. Very powerful image. I like it a lot. Very great angle too, because it's a forest with a fire going on in the middle, and they shot it. It seems like it was a drone that took the picture from above, and you can tell the magnitude of it because of how long the forest fire is. It's crazy. It looks like a wall fire. All right, this next one, it's called Frozen Silence by Alan Percy. This is in Norfolk, England, UK, and it's a very beautiful snowy field with it's not so much, it doesn't give the appearance of anything bad. It looks actually quite beautiful. Very snowy, very misty. I'll be honest with you, this looks like a prop for a movie. Looks like a photo location for a, I don't know, European, Swedish, folkish band or something. It seemed like lined up right here, all of them, and have like this whole thing behind them. Very beautiful image. I just wouldn't necessarily group it up with all of these other images that we've seen here. There's pictures that show, like I mentioned before, this like power, and it looks unnervingly majestic. I don't know if that even makes any sense, but it's gonna make sense today. My wife hates when I do that. Whoa. Lenticular Sundown Reflections by Kathleen McLeod. This is in Inverness, Scotland. Wow, Scotland is a really nice place to take pictures. We've already seen 3 of them that have been in Scotland. Very beautiful. Wow. The cloud, it looks like a painted image. It looks like something that an artist could have done. But I guess it's reflection, obviously. The clouds look a little bit, they look like balls of clouds. It could either be dusk or dawn. Looks more like dawn, but the reflection on the water of the same sun and sky looks very cool. Whoever took this image, Kathleen, has a really good eye for perspective, and if she doesn't have a good eye for perspective, then she was just extremely lucky to be able to be at the right place at the right time to take an image like this. Very lucky. Looks very good. Next one we have Nacrecus Cloud by Colin Heggie. This is a cloud. Obviously, it says it in the name of the picture, but this is in Scotland, United Kingdom, and damn, whatever Scotland has should be the place for the photographers, because you can take really nice pictures. I'm not really sure what I'm seeing, but I normally judge pictures that I see, like these type of images, as not me personally, but if it could be used for an album artwork or like a movie poster and whatnot. And dude, this fucking looks like a sick psychedelic rock album. Pretty cool. I don't understand much. I think maybe I do. Maybe this down here is sunlight. All right, next one up, we have Once Upon a December Evening by Caitlin Jones Fulterton. This is in Flintshire, North Wales. Very beautiful and very eerie. Very sort of like picture perfect kind of town. Heavy mist. Seems like there's a lot of secrets going on here that only the townsfolk know about and outsiders are not aware of. That's exactly, look at it. Would you not think that that something weird, like a Stepford Wives kind of situation is happening in the town like this? Pretty cool. Alrighty, we have another psychedelic looking picture. This one's, I like this one a lot more than the previous one that we saw. This is a polar stratospheric cloud by Tanya Engbo Dyke Madsen, and this is in southern Norway. I'm not going to try to say those names because I would completely butcher it. Very beautiful. Wow. It's as if the northern lights would have multiple colors, which I'm not sure if it does or not. The ones I've always seen, the videos are always like that greenish color, but this looks like it looks as if the sky were to be painted in different colors and we're being taken into a brand new realm where Asgard's probably there. This looks like the entrance to Asgard. That's what it reminds me of. Pretty good. Pretty interesting. Alright, next up we have Red Sprite Lightning over the Amadrime Snow Mountain by Shangxi Wu. And this is in Tibet, China. Very beautiful. Pretty simple. I love the stars. I love how the stars are the main focus. There's like this red thing right there. If you kind of look at it a little bit more closely, it looks like the figure of like a dragon or something. It looks nefarious. Pretty cool. Okay, put it back like this so that you can better appreciate the image. Okay, sharing a broken Spectre by Matthew Price. They spelled it wrong previously, so that's why I thought it was different. This is in mid Wales, and we already spoke about this picture. Pretty simple. It's the one with the rainbow circles. Alrighty, Snow-Covered Beach Huts by Owen Humphreys. This is in Northumberland. And pretty simple. A snowy day. Very Wes Anderson. Not copy-paste Wes Anderson style, but if I could, this could be something that I could see Wes like making it more like his own style, but the image looks like something you can find in one of his movies. Very nice, very colorful. The fact that all the houses have these really bright colors to them are it's really interesting. Everything's pretty bright, to be quite honest with you. Man, this brings me back to like memories when I was a kid. My mom used to do the same thing too. Snowy days were always the best, especially New York City. Minus the dirty snow and how disgusting it looks at times. But all in all, good times. Good times. Snowflake Fall by Diana Nevis. This is in Staffordshire, UK. Not a fan of the image. Looks pretty simple, looks pretty basic. You could kind of confuse that for weed plants, but I'm pretty sure that's not what it is. It's just like a snowflake there. I don't know, man. It looks, you could put this on a poster. You could sell this at Target for like $15, like a Christmas poster that people will put up in their living room every Christmas. and it looks really cool and whatnot, but I don't know. It just doesn't feel like it goes hand in hand with the topic of like weather. Like, this wouldn't be something I would vote for, like weather photographer of the year. This is a Instagram picture that I would probably, not me specifically, but like someone would probably like and share it out, put it on their stories and whatnot. Like, oh my god, look at this. Whoa. The Rising Taj by Sunil Chaudhary. This is in Taj Mahal, Agra. What can I say? Beautiful. The rising sun, and all the way at the end you can see the building. Not much I can say about it. Very beautiful, very simple, very hot. This image, I can feel the heat emanating from it. I'm already sweating. Pretty awesome. Love it. See, that's the thing about images, pictures, photographers. They're able to, by taking a picture and freezing that moment in time, through their perspective and creativity, they're able to convey emotions, and you feel different things. Even if you don't like it, it's still something that you're feeling towards it. Waterlogged by Sudipta Chatterjee, and this is in West Bengal, India. Oh, another sad picture. The water is high, but if it's like knee high, and it seems to be small sort of alleyway, and it's overflooded with water, and there's a dog that's trying to swim. It doesn't seem like the dog is in any immediate danger. There's actually people looking at the dog, but obviously you can tell that these are the effects of climate change, and we caused it, so animals now have to suffer the consequences of what we did. And this is what I am getting from this picture. And I think this is the last one. It's Worst Flooding by Azim Khan Roni, and this is in Bangladesh. And yeah, you can tell that this was all land, because you can see the green right from above, obviously because the picture's from above, but you can see the greenery. Flooding caused it to basically be underwater. Effects of climate change. But people don't want to have that conversation. These aerial images are so just wow, they have like strength to it. Like, oh, it makes me feel so small in comparison to like what I'm seeing. Even if it's an image that we're describing, it makes me feel like I'm so minute, the midst of something so big, and it's the truth. It really is. Pictures like this are a wake-up call and a reality checker. You're not as big as you think you are. Awesome. That was pretty awesome. Loved it. All right. I am going to read the last one of today, and that will be the end of the stream. I will owe you the Schmidt Ocean Institute for Monday. I will be live again for Coffee, the News, and Us. It's Labor Day here, so I'm just going to take the opportunity that I have a no work day, a paid holiday, to spend it here with you. I'll do some true crime. I'll do a little bit earlier this time, probably do like 8:30, because I do want to spend time with wifey, and try to go live as well for true crime later on that same day. But other than that, let's read this last one because it caught my eye, and I think it's very important. Goes hand in hand with the conversation that we were just having right now about the images that we were seeing and the effects of climate change. So, goodnewsnetwork.org. This is where we're reading, and it says, a Montana youths sue state over climate change and win, citing the state's constitution. Written by Good News Network. That's who it was written by. And it says, published August 30th, 2023. In a historic first, 16 young plaintiffs sued the state of Montana and won after asserting that the U.S. state violated their constitutional right to a clean and healthful environment. In the 103-page decision filed this month in Held v. State of Montana, Judge Kathy Seeley of the 1st Judicial District Court ruled in their favor based on the state's own constitution. The 50-year-old document declares that citizens have a right to a clean and healthful environment, and that each Montanan shall maintain and improve a clean and healthful environment in Montana for present and future generations. With its decree, the court also invalidated as unconstitutional certain Montana laws that promoted fossil fuels without even considering climate change. The court ruled the young plaintiffs had proven their standing to bring the case by showing significant injuries, the government's substantial role in causing them, and that a judgment in their favor would change the government's conduct. Local news reports say the case was the first case challenging state and national climate and energy policies to make it to trial in the U.S., and is now the first in which the plaintiffs were victorious. Judge Seeley's findings of fact, conclusions of law, and order set forth critical evidentiary and legal precedents for the right of youth to a safe climate, including these highlights. 1. Every additional ton of GHG emissions exacerbates plaintiffs' injuries and risks locking in irreversible climate injuries. Number 2. Plaintiffs' injuries will grow increasingly severe and irreversible without science-based actions to address climate change. Number 3. Plaintiffs have proven that as children and youth, they are disproportionately harmed by fossil fuel pollution and climate impacts. Number 4. The state authorizes fossil fuel activities without analyzing GHGs or climate impacts. Number 5. Montana has the authority under the statutes by which they operate to protect Montana's environment and natural resources, protect the health and safety also of Montana's youth. And that's what it's 1, 2, 3, 6. Montana's contributions to GHG emissions can be measured incrementally and cumulatively, both in terms of immediate local effects and by mixing in the atmosphere and contributing to global climate change and an already destabilized climate system. The youth, who were represented in part by attorneys with Our Children's Trust, called it a sweeping win. As fires rage in the West, today's ruling in Montana is a game changer that marks a turning point in this generation's efforts to save the planet from the devastating effects of human-caused climate change and climate chaos. I think they should call it that permanently. Human-caused climate chaos. Love it. And that's Julia Olson who said that. She's the chief legal counsel with Our Children's Trust. This is a huge win for Montana, for youth, for democracy, and for our climate. More rulings like this will certainly come. Today we witness democracy in action as Montana's judiciary fulfilled its constitutional duty to hold the political branches accountable for actions exacerbating the climate crisis and causing harm to the state's youngest and most vulnerable people, said Nate Bellinger, a senior staff attorney with the group. Despite the state's attempts to avoid any responsibility, the court's decision affirms that the state has the discretion to deny permits for fossil fuel activities that would result in unconstitutional levels of GHG emissions, unconstitutional degradation and depletion of Montana's environment and natural resources, or infringement of the constitutional rights of Montanans and youth plaintiffs, said Barbara Chilcott, senior attorney at the Western Environmental Law Center, who also helped litigate the case. The trial, conducted in June, included testimony from 10 expert witnesses, as well as 12 of the 16 young Montanans who filed a suit over 3 years ago. They did not seek any monetary award in their lawsuit. Instead, the youth sued to protect their right to a clean and healthful environment and to enjoy public lands that are threatened by drought, heat, fires, smoke, and floods. Dude, that's pretty awesome. The legislative and executive branches will now be responsible for conforming their practices around fossil fuels to the judge's ruling, including the admonition that every additional ton of GHG emissions exacerbates plaintiffs' injuries and risks locking in irreversible climate injuries. The state has 60 days to decide whether to appeal the decision to the Montana Supreme Court. They probably will. This ruling, this case, it is truly historic. We are heard. Frankly, the elation and joy in my heart is overwhelming in the best way. We set precedent not only for the United States, but for the world, said Kian, one of the youth plaintiffs. Kian, we'll start with the U.S. first and let's see how it goes, and then we can talk about the world. Because we'll start with the U.S. Let's just say that. Pretty wonderful, huh? I'm telling you, the best decision was reading from Good News Network, because how great do you feel right now? See, it's not all bad. And there could be great things happening. We just need to read about it and stay informed on it. Your boy's about to go cook now. About to make some chicken wings. I have not had chicken wings in about a week and a half, and I am missing it. I love chicken wings. My wife loves it too as well, so we are two peas in a pod. We like all the same food, and we just love to eat. I love to cook for her. She loves to eat it. It's a fair situation. It's a win-win. I love it. I am going to cook, though. No lie there. This was wonderful. Thank you very much, Tip. Thank you so much for stopping by, saying hi. Anyone else that watched the show, lurking, whatever the case may be, I really appreciate it. I enjoy Coffee with the News and Us. It's the flip side to True Crime, and which I will be live again today at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time for True Crime Daily. True Crime, we're going to be reading from True Crime Daily and going down rabbit holes, watching some videos associated to any of the cases that we'll be reading from, and just have a True Crime night. I used to do it on Wednesdays, but I switched it over to Fridays because it's a lot more convenient, and I only work Monday to Thursday, so Friday would be the ideal day to do it. So I hope to see you there. That's at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time today. Like I said, I had a great time today reading all these different articles that we read. Climate change is real, guys. I don't care what you say. You can deny it. You can cry about it. I don't care. We're living through it, and it's only gonna get worse. I don't think we're past the point of not being in the situation. I mean, we're gonna be in it regardless. Right now, it's more of what are we gonna do as human beings to be able to stop what we are currently doing and see things from a different perspective and try to do things a whole lot differently, because it ain't working. It's not working at all. Winters are gonna get colder, or flip side, they're gonna get a whole lot hotter, and summers are just gonna burn us. Dude, the planet is going to scorch us alive. We are going to be fried human beings, and no one's gonna eat us because there's gonna be so much of us. It's just gonna go bad, if you know what I mean. Yeesh, wow, that was dark. I'm gonna write that one down though, because it was pretty good, but still dark. You know where to find me, all across social media: Facebook, Instagram, Threads, X. For the King Angel Show, that's the parent channel. Sub-channels: True Crime, Coffee, the News, and Us. Our individual channels on YouTube. Like, comment, share, and subscribe to those channels. Let me know what you think. You'll see snippets of this on YouTube, and I'll probably have this live stream be the first set of snippets that I cut for TikTok as well. So keep an eye out for that. I'll post that TikTok link on all 3 channels so that you have easier access to it. Join the Discord, King Angel Show. Let's watch movies, album listens. Watch me game. I'll watch you game as well. Let's have some fun. Let's have an argument. Let's have a debate. Let's have a conversation. Let's watch a documentary and let's talk about it. Give me your ideas. Give me your thoughts. I'm not going to give you any pennies, but I'll give you some time. It's worth more than pennies. And we'll have an argument. We'll converse. We'll talk about it. That's Discord, King Angel Show. If you want to further support me, it's $2 a month over on Patreon. You get a whole bunch of benefits. You can read about it over on patreon.com/The King Angel Show. Or if you're watching me here on YouTube or Twitch, either on the description box of the live stream on YouTube or in the About section on Twitch, you will find the Patreon link and information. Same for Discord and same for all the other platforms that I'm on. Also Linktree as well. You can find it there for your convenience. You can scan. This is a QR code. If you're watching me on a computer, you can scan it with your phone and it'll take you to my Linktree. And then you can pick your poison. And that basically does it for today. I will see you guys later on today. Again, 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time for True Crime. Gonna have some fun. And read through cases and whatnot and just see just how fucked up human beings really are. I appreciate your support. Thank you so much for being here. Have a very wonderful day. Very wonderful weekend. If I don't see you later on over on at KAS True Crime for YouTube or the same channel if you're watching me on Twitch. I'm Val to you. Have a very wonderful day. Wonderful weekend. Take it easy. Don't do anything that you will regret doing later on. And if you are incarcerated, establish dominance as fast as possible. Take it easy. Have a great day. Peace.